Hello. We did it. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of your favorite podcast, Momentum Mod Team Q&A. My name is Nick, aka Goknak. I'm the project lead and development lead of Momentum Mod, here to answer some of your burning questions that you've asked us over in Discord, as well as here in chat live. I'm joined by some of my fantastic team members. We can go down the list and introduce yourselves. Tell the stream what you do, and we'll get going.
I'm in game. I can't see the list.
You're first.
Am I first?
Yeah, you are
Fuck.
actually first because you're
Hey,
streaming
I'm
still
Tom.
too.
Yeah, I've been asked to play the game, so we have like footage. So I'm struggling to like do that and talk. Hi, I'm Tom. I'm web dev lead. Web systems, whatever. And Nick, can you turn my view model off, please?
Oh
It looks
yeah.
horrible.
Why even is it that? I don't know.
For some reason, it defaults to sniper now on some in Ahop, and then this is the sniper model now.
Oh, I don't have. Yeah, I don't have the sniper
At some
model.
point, well, maybe this is the thing to talk about because there are that many questions that are actually interesting. So maybe I'll ask a question later on about how we're going to handle view models in the future. Because the fact that, like, yeah, in some cases you just see like the knife just because Counter-Strike players like that. So anyway, we could get to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm Tom, web dev lead.
Working on web dev stuff. You may see some of Tom's streams on this channel if you're around. But yeah, lots of great work. Moving down the list, we got Gordy.
Hi, I am also the web guy. I do web. That's it. I'm not really the interesting one.
Web's interesting. It's important.
Well, I'm not really streaming that much.
That's fair.
So that's kind of I do web stuff. I'm trying to help with all the systems that we have around, but like before 0.10, I don't think we. Do we have anything really that big? We'll basically speak about that later, maybe. So yeah, I'm the web guy. Hell, yeah. Hello.
Nice. Yeah. We also got Happy.
Hi, I'm Happy. I am still localization lead. I am still music guy for the game. I do pretty much everything that within my capabilities, I guess. I'm around. So
Nice.
yeah.
We got Lumia as well.
Hi, I'm Lumia. That's it.
Working on defrag. Yeah. Cool. And then we got, last but not least, XB Man.
Yes. I'm the executive surf advisor. I surf the maps and then I make the surf maps.
It's valuable. It's valuable to have that, especially with what this game is trying to accomplish. Speaking of accomplishments, the standard question that we always get asked, quote unquote, what has everybody been up to? It's been pretty exciting over the past, I'd say even the past like 2 weeks, because right now there's a lot of, you've been seeing a lot of development work from Tom. Tom can talk about that in just a sec, but a lot of that work is now unlocking the game side related things. So map selector, leaderboards, a lot of the API things that we do, right, to have the globalized, map list and leaderboards has been effectively done and can now be hooked up to the game to see how it works and for testing there. So a lot of work is going to now start happening around hooking it up and testing it in game with this local environment, and then eventually, right, the actual O10 environment that we'll deploy. And it's really, really awesome because it's a lot cleaner, right? Having basically the opportunity to rewrite a lot of these like older systems that were, done maybe in a month or less, right, for time. Being able to approach things cleanly, have more, useful UI design. It's very, very exciting. So still nothing really to show in relation to that because again, it's all back end and we can't really deploy it for people to see and play test.
Well,
but we will. we will eventually have some internal branches and then internal builds, and then maybe an O10 branch that you can help test everything out on, and then we'll merge it in and O10 will be released. But it's yeah, I mean, just some of the work there, right? We have API calls being rewritten to handle the new backend, and with that, right, we have a new like format parsing, so it's actually much easier to write API calls and deal with the data. It was a lot of manual work before, so it's very refreshing to be able to approach a lot of old code and refactor it, renew it, right, make it better going forward. And
we're not getting rid of too much stuff. Like we're not actually. So
yeah, it's
not
more rewriting some like parts of the system that we use. Like we're still gonna do API requests, but like the underlying code for the API requests and stuff, like rewriting that to make it better. You know, we have devs getting back from break, so they're starting to look into things like why defrag's broken, and you know, things like that have just been, you know, minor bugs like that have been piling up. We have a lot of cards in our backlog that I'm also going to be going through to help prioritize more open source development, so that if people would like to help out and contribute, they can actually pick up a card without us really having to say to do that or anything, right? It could just be easily found via maybe some GitHub tags and stuff. So there's a lot of like project management work still going on there, but we do have a lot of features that could easily be done by just any dev that has free time outside of the team as well, which is really exciting because that's, you know, not only does it help get the game done faster because we focus on these core things, but people coming in and helping can get a key, and then also, yeah, it's, you know, you're fixing the game as well, so the game feels better. So it's just a win-win-win all around. So yeah, gonna try to prioritize doing that as well. Just trying to balance both of those. But
we'll definitely have more open source stuff available after O10. Right?
Oh yes.
Like right now, like it's honestly quite hard for me to assign people like web stuff.
Yeah.
Just because there's too much stuff in flux at the moment, and we also have like quite a lot of like kind of large web system redesigns going on straight after O10 that we need to kind of get started before other people can really contribute there. Also be when we can start actually working on the Discord bot, the API hooked up one, and Twitch bot as well we're going to do.
Yes.
So like, and some other Pano stuff as well. I have a bit more Pano work. I keep trying to find stuff for people to do of open source stuff because, you know, unfortunately, quite a lot of stuff. There's quite a lot of like UI work, but it needs bits of game code, and it's a bit hard doing stuff in tandem. But sorry, I'm trying to answer a question. Therefore, you don't have any gameplay. Oh look, I just did that actually.
Yeah.
Sorry, can you spec someone else so I can actually talk?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Oh, you play the game. Whatever you play.
Yeah, no, I'll play it while you talk. Yeah.
And I'll spec you. What's that to look at? Yeah, with websites, so with my web stuff, we will have some stuff to show at some point. I don't know if we'll ever like stream browser stuff. Maybe we could set it up, just do that in like a raw like dev Chrome browser thing and just share that for 5 minutes on stream, something like that. If you do want to see the work in progress stuff, check out this Twitch channel, and I'm streaming a lot of work on that. Haven't been able to for the last couple of days.
Jesus.
Because I've been ill. Yeah, you got to like slow right down. Are you crouching?
Yeah.
You are so old-fashioned.
I'm a very old school A-hopper.
It's like I would recommend.
Okay. All right.
It was if you like plus walk is like almost as much boost. Anyway, sorry. So the bunch of front end stuff. Some of that we'll maybe show that off on stream sometime. Map submission form, all that stuff, map reviews, the whole map submission system stuff. I don't know when we'll get that deployed. Hopefully in the next couple of months, alongside like a Steam build. But we still need to do some production work there, and I'm still not completely finished with the map submission. Getting there. It's actually like kind of like 80-90% done at least 80% done. So that's pretty exciting. It's just, yeah. I've been sick the last few days, so I've not been working that much on momentum. Not been working much at all. Okay. With other stuff to show, yeah, we don't have anything to show, do we? On this, I was hoping we might have.
Yeah, not yet.
But without
but we will.
I mean,
But we will.
yeah. His climb stuff is. Did we get any? I think we did get a few climb things in the
We got
last
the
update we did.
climb menu, the climb teleport menu from Game Chaos.
Oh yeah.
But we don't have the Half-Life 1 movement in yet, as well as the 1.6 KZ movement, which I guess is a little bit of a spoiler, but we were going to add this movement into the game at some point, but Game Chaos has already added it. And then, yeah, we're aiming to get climb kind of well along around or right after 0.10.0. Damn, I tried to hop that one. Fucked up. But yeah, it's really exciting to see progress there from Game Chaos on just getting kind of the mode structure or the mode movements in, and then that Half-Life 1 movement will be nice because we'll have kind of an old school Half-Life 1 bunny hop mode, which that'll be very useful for doing. So really looking forward to that, and excellent work there from Game Chaos. But yeah, we also just, I mean, like Rio's been doing a lot of great kind of like underlying work for even the code that the API models use is using some of the code that Rio wrote. So we have a lot of just shared kind of tech and knowledge happening, and like it's just all coming together, and it's unfortunately not at the point where it could be like kind of shown off because it's not really end user facing yet. That's more of the UI and gameplay itself. Fuck, I keep missing that last jump. I don't even know how I'm gonna do this, but
I'm enjoying watching that.
It's fun. I'm getting the hang of it. I'm getting the hang of it.
Jump off the edge.
What was that? Fuck. But yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It would probably. Anyway. Yeah, I wish we'd want to show.
We will though. It's a slow build, but like it's gonna be once you start seeing 0.11 work, it's actually pretty soon going to get in a branch that people can play. Because like once it's at that point, right? We just need to.
0.11. You mean 0.10 or am I...
Oh, sorry. Yeah, 0.10. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Like
yeah, I mean stuff right now is like pretty. A lot of the zoning stuff is like pretty far along at this point. Actually, like I think a lot of the stuff will tie together surprisingly quickly because a lot of the zoning stuff is like pretty all functional as far as I know.
Yeah.
I don't remember if there's any other. I don't know if Rio has any Pano stuff left. I could be wrong, and maybe there is some stuff left, but for the most part, it's all good. The zoning UI is coming along. I'm not sure quite how much longer that'll be, but yeah. A lot of it's getting the backend stuff hooked up. It'll be great if we maybe able to show some of the map submission stuff.
Oh, that was so close.
Some of the work Nick's been getting started on is doing the new map selector changes. Because obviously the map selector is one of our most complex bits of UI. We've been doing a bit of what you could maybe argue is whatchamacallit, preemptive, premature optimization. No, it isn't. We've had a system in mind for a while that we've been wanting to do that makes like map list system way faster, where you basically just constantly sync up all the map data with the client, just using a single file,
single cache file.
Yeah.
Right now there is a map cache of first of all the images that you download when you look at the map selector, but also when you click on a map and get information about it, we cache kind of all of the data there. And the goal for this new system is you effectively download this like couple kilobyte file that has every single map in the game, its name, its tier, right? Like all of these like static elements of a map that don't really change once it's been approved. And then you show that directly on the map selector, basically right when it boots up. So when the game boots, and assuming you're connected, right, you connect to our website and everything, you'll be able to just immediately search maps, immediately filter through maps that are officially added. And, we might have one as well for the in-progress maps, right? And that's... Like it's just allowing the UX for the game to feel much better than kind of a traditional maybe website would, because we can really optimize every bit of that. So that's part of that kind of like rewriting optimization bit that I was talking about. And you know, like that's am I supposed to go really slow for this? Is that why I'm failing so much? Because like if I go slow, I'm actually getting this much like better.
Wait, the what? Yeah, you are. You're meant to slow down fast.
Okay, that's what I thought.
It sounds like a bad map.
If you want to slow down fast, I recommend just buffer hopping. Like,
Damn it.
Not,
Okay, yeah.
like, go jump a little bit.
But anyway, yeah, so there's like that kind of system is like what I'm talking about with like rewriting the old map cache, which was just more reactive to the data that you would request normally, right? Like with the current map selector. So yeah, like it's actually it's pretty
all that JSON data, we just big file of all that stuff.
All of it.
It's
So
more than a few kilobytes. There will be unzipped. It can get up to be about 10 megs maybe.
Yeah.
So we don't zip it right now. We're just literally bunging it all through deflate with no format, and then just write it to a file and transfer that. We might use some fancy compression if we really wanted to. Deflate's fine.
Let me see if my lobby's not showing up for people. It's probably because of this bug with.
Yeah, make it.
Okay, there. Yeah, friends only and now public. It should show up now. Check that out. Sorry about that. That's another bug that we're gonna need to fix.
Yeah, that was probably it. That it just
Yeah.
It decided that you were friends only.
Yeah. The game is very progressive. We can read your mind to tell who you actually want in your lobby.
So map cache stuff can be way simplified and stop spamming our bloody backend. So that's nice. Yeah. This is one of those systems like it did feel a bit silly to optimize it now, but given that we're going to be changing the system on the game code side anyway, it really made sense to move to the flat file system, which, I mean, it took me like 2 days to write, so it wasn't hard. 2 days of me and it's being like slow, and I would do like 2 hours of work each time. It was not hard. So like the whole thing, that's all functioning now, and it basically just saves us like one of the most expensive queries we were making. We just stopped doing completely.
Yeah.
Which is very nice.
And a very common one too. Like everyone's going to be looking at maps,
yeah.
right? Like, yeah. Sorry, expensive could be like, oh, the query itself is really heavy versus like, oh, it's hit hard.
Yeah, well, it's kind of both. Yeah, it's expensive in terms of we can actually that table's actually quite cheap, but it's something that it does a lot of joins. Also, it's Prisma, so I guess on new Prisma might be a bit less slow because it doesn't do the insane thing that Prisma does anymore, or you can turn that insane thing off. But who cares about that? Yeah, it's ultimately way fewer queries get made, so that's nice. And in the future, a lot of the game client stuff will be really optimized because people pull the API via the game way more than they do the website because nobody uses a website.
For now.
Yeah, but still, like nobody. Comparatively, it'll be like, we'll always get way more game queries than web stuff. But so the map submission system also, the map selector system also needs to have map submission stuff as well in the future. So soon, like the beta tab, or we might move it around. I forget exactly what we said we were going to do with this, but that tab in the map selector will change a little bit. But we'll start actually having stuff in there, so you'll be able to actually see maps like in submission just by going in game and looking on that part of the map selector, and you can play them, and they will have like temporary leaderboards, and you'll be able to submit reviews, though only through the website because it's too annoying. Doing it in game will take too long, so it'll just.
So that's what I mean by soon. You'll have to use the website for some stuff. Not everything can be in game. Yeah, that's what the website's meant to be. Is more of an extension and doing things that are more tedious UI wise in game. Like a full map review system in game would be sick, but really annoying to design.
The kind of queries that the game does that are super expensive, like the whole map selector thing. Like the map selector thing is like the website map selector like never does as many map queries and stuff anyway, because like it doesn't usually need as many. It's not trying to find like a comprehensive list, whilst the in-game one kind of does with that because it's got that cache system. It wants to like build out the cache. And so not having to use that endpoint with the paginated stuff for that is really, really nice. You just fill up the cache immediately just by sending the cache over and just storing it in a S3 bucket. We do have to. It does get a bit complicated for user-specific data there, like PBs on maps, but
Yeah.
that's something that we're going to be working on post 010 as a thing that we'll kind of start to sort of build, but sort of gradually. Sorry, we maybe don't need to talk about this. This is kind of a future thing, not what's everything been up to, but it's,
Right. Yeah.
web performance stuff is. We'll see. But with hopefully we'll start to see the map submission stuff on the map selector relatively soon, and I'm really excited for that.
I wonder if you could jump around these pillars. Like the curve of ASHing. Probably not. You'd probably have to really curve it.
What? Oh yeah, no, you can. Ninja's already done it.
Oh, sick. Okay, cool. See, I'm sort of smart with Ahop. Here, I'll spec and what we could.
Yeah,
we
wait.
can move
Oh
on
my
to
god,
our...
yeah. What is Ninja's time? I want to watch world record of this map now. Oh, for
That's
God's
actually
sake. Yeah, and you should be stupid fast. That's funny though. Yeah, this is a really nice
Yeah.
map because it's a tech map, but it's not absolute dog shit. Oh, we've also got some new tech
what?
maps you got added recently, by the way. We can play. That'd be funny.
Oh man. I like the turnaround there. That's nice.
Oh, there's not even a good. It's like it has a fail in it as well.
It could be
That's
optimized
funny.
more. Times, yeah, the fail right there. I just did it. Yeah, that's the thing with like grinding times. It's like it's good to see routes, but right now it's like, oh, what? There's a whole surf section too. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
But no, this is a fun map.
Yeah.
I find like Ahop. If you've not played Ahop and you're watching this, it's maybe a little bit confusing as to what's going on.
Yeah.
But like, honestly, the hardest thing about Ahop is slowing down and controlling your speed well. It's not about just going fast.
Right.
Like the speed is just free in Ahop basically. Hey Duckyox, it's Duckyox, the map author. Nice map.
Oh, yeah. Very
I'm
nice.
just saying how this map's good and not terrible like all the other tech maps we have recently.
Oh, is Fall of Freeman a tag?
Well, kind of. Actually, all the recent maps are kind of fine. I think there's Antipile, which is, I think everyone agrees is not a great map.
Gotcha.
We've got a bunch. Should we just go through the Ahop maps for the next like half hour as we talk?
Yeah. We'll get into our first asked question here.
Yeah. Unless no one else has any what's they been up to, do they? Maybe. What's anyone else been up to stuff?
Did we miss anything? I mean, there's probably.
I'm in university prison. I
That's
don't get to leave with my degree until I've finished my psychology and sound design course.
Heck yeah. Well, university. Universities, yeah, that's a good point. A lot of people on the team are just busy. IRL, right? Like it's just kind of how it goes. So a lot of people are really just busy with work or school, and they just don't have the time, or when they get the free time to work on momentum, it's really late, or no motivation to work on it yet. But it's fair. So we'll go into our first asked question here. Pretty easy one. Who's reading them? Who wants to read them?
I would, but I'm currently answering a question.
I guess I can.
Yeah, go
with
for
my
it.
English.
No, yeah, do it up.
I'm sorry, everybody. So our first question is from Fearze. Is the sense and momentum mod the same in TF2 or Counter-Strike?
Yes. So because we are still based on the source engine, yes, it is the exact same one-to-one with pretty much any source game. We do have some minor improvements, namely M raw input 2, which samples your mouse even better than it's interpolating between the frames. So it's actually like technically frame rate independent mouse movement and strafing and things like that. We're really excited about this feature, which was added by Rio, because it allows a lot of players on like lower end hardware that might not be running perfect 300 plus FPS to be able to compete, and that's really exciting. So we kind of have not really a problem, but a phenomenon, I'd say, around our game of it feeling different. Some people have said it felt easier. Some people say it feels harder. The game and the engine, right, is being optimized for a lot of what we're trying to use it for. So, right, we're not building on top of just a multiplayer game, right? Like we are effectively like optimizing for a single player experience. So having, a lot of systems be rewritten and everything, right, including or adding, right, raw input too. A lot of that ties into the game feeling even smoother. And that's the goal, right? We want the game to feel really good, especially if you have decently new hardware within the last 10 years, right? So that's kind of the caveat there of like it'll be one-to-one sense, but the game still might feel like better or smoother anyway because of just other compounding factors. And that's our goal, right? We really want you to feel really good in the game. So while you're playing it, so yeah.
One tiny thing is that if you're on Linux, most source games have a bug where you have to use twice the amount of sense you normally do. But we fixed that bug. So if you're on Linux and you use like a sensitivity of 6 in Momentum Mod, you just use 3 instead.
Good point. Yeah, really good point there. I actually didn't even know there was that bug. It's a good shout. Yeah, that's cursed. Just the benefits, the some of the nice benefits of having control over the entire software stack for a project like this. So instead of just a plugin or something. So cool. All right, I think that answers that question. Thank you, Fearze, for that. We'll move on to our next one.
I just felt I'd been muted, but I had nothing useful to say, so don't worry.
Daiter, I think, asked, is it possible to add new mechanics outside of hammer? For example, speed boost on knife swing as a Bhop substyle.
So we actually had one of the Q&As talk about this where there's kind of a difference between like map mechanics or gameplay, like one-off gameplay mechanics versus like an entirely new mode, right? Or like kind of a sub mode or something where you have kind of a defining gameplay feature, right? Or defining, I guess, movement combination. Maybe it still uses the same underlying code, but uses maybe different combinations to do something uniquely, right? Because this Ahop movement is technically the same as TF2. It just does something very specific when it checks for your jump, right? Right, like that's kind of the different.
Isn't it?
Yeah, they're both based on the
values and stuff at the same.
Well, yeah, I guess Eric Cells maybe adjusted as well.
Is this based? Oh, this is based off TF movement, not.
No, this is it's like the base movement, right? So the base movement is Half-Life 2's movement, and then TF2 just kind of adds like extra checks for like classes and like knockbacks and stuff. So
they have a few different.
But yeah, it's oversimplifying it. But the entire premise of it being like a mechanic where you melee or use maybe a specific weapon, like a grappling hook or something like that, that's more of something that we want to try to generalize out to be map specific. It'd be really cool to have things almost like boost pads, if you think about it, right? Like every mode can have a boost pad. That doesn't mean we need to make Conc with boost pad or something, right? But when it comes to like a weapon or something like that, more integrated into it, right? For example, Rocket Jump has the Beggar's Bazooka, right? Which shoots, or you charge up the rocket, right? If I'm
you load it and then it releases them all in a burst.
Yeah, and so, or is that the airstrike? Anyway, sorry, that's another.
They both kind of similar.
Okay, gotcha. So those kind of things, right, warrant a new mode because it's a fundamentally new thing based off of the existing mode, right? Quad rocket as well, right? If we end up adding quad rocket, would probably be an RJ sub mode as well. So like that's how we kind of view things with sub modes versus mechanics, where a knife giving you, or a gun that's like boosting you as you like use it over time, and maybe it recharges or something like that. That kind of actually sounds like Trimp a little bit.
I think if it's something like a thing that's literally just boosting in one direction that takes basically no skill, and it's still the same base movement as Bhop, like that could very conceivably still be Bhop, right? Because you're not really like the distinction's going to be about like, are you gonna specialize like at being really good at this one mode? Like, is it a skill in itself, or is it just a kind of extra little addition? Like if it's something like with Rocket Jump and Beggars, like yeah, there's some similarities, but like regular rocket jump and beggars is very different gameplay wise, and like one person that's good at rocket jump isn't necessarily good at beggars and vice versa. Whilst like if it is a literally thing that just gives you speed for free from time to time, like that could more conceivably be just like a just a map thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So it's really just that delicate balance. We do probably eventually, maybe after 2.0, want to add things like scripting to, which would probably allow for things like this. So yeah, maybe at that point, it wouldn't require hammer. But it's going to be very sandbox, or sorry, very, I guess, I don't know. It's limited in terms of what the scripts can do, right? Because, yeah, I mean, the main thing with why we don't have scripting right now, like bscript, is first of all, we're trying to get an existing like base game, right? We don't need scripting to like add to that. But there's also problems around, reviewing what the code does, reinventing the wheel, right? If you have a similar mechanic and everybody has to copy this script in order to have this mechanic. The appeal around Momentum having active development, right, is that we can add things as a base layer into Hammer if possible, so that it could be in every map consistently, right? So that's why we just kind of lean more towards, if you have ideas like this knife or like something like this, we really want to be able to experiment with that if it could add value to maybe an existing modes, or it could eventually be its own mode. Because keep in mind, after 1.0, right, like we're going to be looking at adding all of these sub modes, right, and the campaign, right. That's going to be the team's main focus. So realistically, we'll want ideas like this to come out of it. We could probably add scripting around then, just as like a dev option thing, or something, right, in the future. So it's really just going to be more of a future thing. But yeah, if it's an idea like that, we really want to be able to like iterate on that, maybe add new mechanics to existing modes, because that will breathe fresh air right into a lot of these modes if you can add new things like grappling hooks or something, right? So was there any other input for this? Sorry, I've been kind of hogging it. Anybody else have any thoughts on this?
I don't know. I think it's stuff that can be done with like current like hammer tricks. Like if people want to do that, then like we shouldn't stop them. I don't know if there is some way if you can like parent some like weird like thing to the player that like is going to have that effect of like a speed boost on knife swing, that kind of thing. We don't want to do scripting and sooner for that. I do think like talking about campaign, the timeline of like 2.0 and campaign and doing this stuff is kind of like so unclear that I don't know how much sense it makes to say that like campaign stuff is going to block work on this, or but like what we want to like game mode mixing it.
Yeah, like game mode mixing. But the focus for the team for after 1.0 will be the campaign as well as some sub modes. So that's just what I meant by that with like we're not only going to work on it, it's just that's our main focus, kind of like how 1.0 is our main focus right now, but obviously we got to get 010 and like the things
okay, right? I think we will get to like post 1.0. I'm not sure how much current people are thinking about campaign stuff or are going to want to work on campaign stuff, right? Just because it's I don't know how many of us are in it for campaign full stop, right? So we'll have to, I expect we'll have a lot of people playing the game post 1.0 and asking us for new stuff, and like I definitely think we should be open to doing more stuff like this, and not I don't think campaign should be a blocker for any of that kind of stuff.
Right, yeah, it isn't. It's just what we would be eventually working towards with 2.0. So it's just going to be the long-term like background thing of like, like what we're working on, I guess. It doesn't mean that it's like the only thing we're working on.
But yeah, stuff like speed boost on knife swing, like keep in mind when we do have like weapon systems in other modes, right? That have like defrag is a stuff that has a mode that has a ton of different weapons, and mappers can just choose what weapons are available in that map by. I can't remember if it's just based on weapon spawner, but you can like give players like weapons on spawn in defrag, right?
Yeah, you can give them triggers and stuff too.
So like you could definitely see, you know, if we wanted to do like maybe mess with some kind of custom weapons there. Like I mean, you know, for Ahop, like there definitely is some kind of question of like SMG nades could be fun, maybe like, but you know, probably in cases where you do just make them a like a map entity and like allow mappers to give players that. But that being said, you do want to really not avoid like losing the identity of the mode by like just having some mode randomly like have mappers be able to give you like random like stupid weapons and like whatever they want. I don't know. I think it would be sort of fun to see what other stuff we can do with sorry, I've lost my train of thought. Whilst I'm trying to play the game. This map's really fun.
It's a hard combination.
I don't know if you've watched the world record yet, but
Oh, let's do that. Yeah.
But yeah, definitely like doing like scripting stuff is like such a nightmare. We don't want to have to do code review for maps, and like having some way to like maybe let players like mess with like custom stuff in some sense. Like
Oh my God, Ninja's just zooming through. Oh my goodness.
It's the thing with Ahop is like some people have just like Ahop. It's so weird that people get consistent at Ahop. It's such a crazy. I play Ahop all the time and I'm just terrible at it. I guess I'm like that with like every mode, but seeing people that are just like perfectly fast at it.
How did that jump work? What? That's crazy.
Somebody in the chat said that I can see surf being fun with having the ability to pick up a Mario Kart mushroom for a booster. Can I joke about Nintendo lawyers?
Oh, yeah, if you want to. Maybe not exactly a mushroom, yeah.
No, they're fine with that stuff.
Nintendo has a good track record with community content.
Yeah. No, but so, stuff like that, like, well, I guess I don't know how is that possible to do with like, can you set a player's speed for like a time limit and stuff like that with current map logic? I lose track. Especially given that momentum is single player, remember, like, and maybe that you get a bit more capacity to do stuff like that you wouldn't have in multiplayer games.
Yeah, but, we could do things like that where, well, maybe not through map logic. We'd have to ask maybe Ox. Ox, I think, would be somebody very knowledgeable on whether or not you're able to do that.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking more so of like existing map logic and like, if people were using like, if people are like doing like weird systems like that already just with Entity.io, like,
Gorge.
Like if a bunch of maps end up doing that and it's popular, then we could consider just turning that into an entity, right? Like that's quite a like obviously Entity.io is jank, but it does give you some degree of like scripting power. Sorry, we don't have VScript. And I mean, you know, maybe we do end up getting some AngelScript based stuff for that in the future if other Strata stuff is using that already, and we can kind of get it for free.
Right.
Or we just do it in JavaScript.
Yeah, right. I mean, that's
JavaScript in
exposed via Panorama.
Like but like the CS2 has new scripts that are made on TypeScript.
Yeah.
So I guess we can do that.
Yeah, Valve are doing. Well, we probably we were talking about scripting stuff a little bit earlier. Like with our stuff, FSR's been working on some AngelScript stuff. I'm honestly not completely sure who it's for. I think it's
P2C.
Portal 2CE. Yeah.
Yep.
I don't. So I think their goal for map scripting stuff has been to use AngelScript instead of VScript, aka Squirrel. Like VScript is Squirrel based, right? Like.
Yeah.
And AngelScript seems quite nice. I mean, it's basically just like baby C++. It's like syntactically the same as C++. But AngelScript gives you the advantage of having much less overhead when calling C++ functions, which makes it a lot more performant. Honestly, it probably doesn't really matter, because that overhead doesn't matter that much. I mean, we do a lot of draw calls and stuff. Well, not draw calls, but you know what I mean, of like panorama C++ calls. Like the defrag stuff is doing stuff like every frame, and it functions fine. The issue with those systems, right, is like if you want to do like a full game, and you want to do it all in some scripting language.
Mechanics, yeah.
Yeah, sometimes certain stuff like it's not so much like the scripting language itself isn't performant, though that may matter. It's usually going to be the cost of just making function calls to like the actual engine. Where with something like VA, I can't remember exactly how it looks, and I guess if I did, I couldn't explain it because it's all the closed source stuff. But like, there's basically a cost of calling a JavaScript function and having that call some C++ function, right? Where there's just, I don't know exactly what it actually looks like at compile time or what the kind of like. I guess it's going to be, yeah. Anyway, supposedly with AngelScript, it just like exposes like function pointers, right? Or like you can call an AngelScript function that like directly calls a C++ function.
Yeah, you can bind stuff. Yeah.
So that's really cool. So you don't have the cost of slow bindings like you do.
Yeah.
If you're using JavaScript or Lua or whatever.
I've written a bit of TF2 vscript, which is Squirrel, and it is surprisingly slow. Yeah. I'll be honest. Oh, yeah. It's not the best. It's usable, but it scares me if I was doing any more than I already do with it. Especially when you're running on servers in a TF2 context. But what I've found is a lot of the performance stuff could be fixed by offering a better API. Like, instead of having to loop through every single entity to find what you want, like offer better searching and stuff. I'm not sure it's the language itself or if it's kind of just how it's integrated. So
you want to be having an API that does as few calls into engine functions as you need to, right? Or makes as few API calls as it needs to, right?
Yeah, or just has optimized functionality. Like in Momentum, in Strata, we have some functions that you can use to find entities in a certain area, which are optimized. They're really fast. In TF2, if you want to do that same thing, Valve has code where they just loop through every single entity in the entire game at the moment. So stuff like that would probably help performance.
Yeah. I mean, but a lot of it is like, I don't know how fast Squirrel actually is as a language. I have no knowledge of it as a language. I don't know if it's some like JIT compiled small runtime or some what it is. With V8, I mean V8 is super fucking fast, right? Like you can, it's a very, very performant runtime because it's the runtime that like Chromium and kind of more importantly in a certain way Node runs on, which are, you know, used pretty heavily and used for some kind of high performance stuff. I guess you can argue that Node is, the sense in which Node is slow is usually a lot of the like actual Node internal stuff is slow, or like Node's own like standard library stuff can be pretty slow. It's, you know, it's still like fast. Anyway, so I don't know how fast AngelScript is. Presumably pretty fast. But
can't know until you benchmark.
Yeah,
that's the main thing with performance is like it's easier to like perceive performance too, but you'd be surprised with like, and then also just like what kind of benchmarks you're running too, which is like the web test ones are like, oh yeah, this is just an empty like 200 response. How many can it handle? It's like
no. That's by far the best way to benchmark a HTTP API is to just how fast can it respond to hello world.
Yeah.
Like that's really important. I do that with my server all the time.
It's like a lot of this is like performance. We have performance debugging tools built into the engine. We use something called Tracy. Tracy handles everything. Tracy is just like a nice way for us to performance debug the engine whenever there's an issue. And that helps with finding things like, why does the game take so long to load a map or to load into the game for the, on startup and stuff like that. It's really nice. But you need to do that to really have quantitative data as like, oh, this is slow because of that. Like benchmarking's going to be very paramount for us, probably really close to 1.0 because we're going to want to optimize. In fact, you've probably played Portal Revolution. If you haven't, check it out on Steam. It's a free-to-play Portal mod based on Strata. First Strata game to come out. And you know, the one of the things there is the really, really fast load times. And that's because one of the things that the game does is it reloads every material when you load a map by default. It's just kind of like
that's what Momentum does.
Yeah,
like,
it's what we
all
do.
Source games
well.
do that.
And
Revo just turned it off, which is great.
And that's why it's so quick, right? To like load a new map or reload a save or anything like that, right? Like it's really cool. And so there's just things like that we can do when we benchmark. So we'll be doing that. I mean, I'm not too worried about performance. It's just more of like if it's not necessary to do it. Like that's really my kind of thing. Like you can have so much performance save if you just don't compile, you know, these like scripts into your engine.
No, a lot of perf stuff like is not that important, right? Like, you know, we do. Source has a lot of small optimizations to be made that like aren't.
Yeah.
You know, Source was like performant on like hardware 10 years ago, right? Like. Not talking about rendering stuff, or like just general engine stuff, right? Like Source has always been pretty good, but 3 wins we should absolutely take. And the thing with the Revo has awesome load times, partly because I think their maps are just really well optimized, but they do just turn off the reload all materials thing. I think we were discussing whether we were going to put that behind a convar or like a new launch command. I think just a convar makes total sense. And we just need to tell mappers who like maybe used to working with that like that's not a thing anymore. I don't know what mappers think would be the best way to let them know about that.
Well,
besides,
right. Like we're just going to mainly just like that's what mapping mode was aiming to kind of cover, but you know, with convars and stuff, we can be kind of more. Or we can like even have the game detect if hammer's open or something, and like
that's just overcomplicated and ugly. You know, like you gotta with stuff like that. Like it's, I don't know. I think it should just be convar. Because like you just get like you have multiple things like trying to decide like whether it should be enabled or disabled. Like if you have a convar and a launch parameter, it's just like. Oh man, and launch params are just shitty convars. They basically are. Right? There's not that.
I mean, you boot hammer or you boot the game from hammer, so it's just a matter of adding like a little string in the launch params, right? Like usually.
Yeah, but also keep in mind nobody uses our hammer.
Oh, true.
So like,
not yet.
And as much as we'd like to, that's not going to be the case for a while. So. I mean, the QT stuff actually quite far along, but
yes,
to the point in which we have like what feature completeness with Hammer plus and all, you know.
Yeah.
Definitely a fair way off.
Honestly, though, our load times are already so like ridiculously fast compared to any other Source game. I feel physical pain every time I have to go back to mapping for TF2 because it takes
I think
minutes to reload a map.
I think once we get rid of the map, just a good way of it. If you like just hit like reload, which I just did just now, like for me, like the thing that takes me longest just to load back into this map. It's like an initial pause right at the start where the game kind of completely hangs for like a second. As far as I can tell from messing with the convar on Revo, Portal Revolution, it's just that. It's just. That first second is just the reload all materials thing just running. So it just like fries your computer for like half a second. So once we have that turned off, load time will improve even more. That being said, I do think load times are quite good as a way to like let you relax and like think about life. So we might make them a bit longer actually. Especially depending on like how toxic you're being in chat.
Yeah. Right? Like, if we ban you, we could just make your game take forever to load.
Yeah, because it's time to dwell on stuff.
On why you say the things you say.
Mandatory, like, waiting period after every reset. About 2 or 3 seconds, you have to just sit there. And do
You just have to
Well,
sit
yeah,
there before
we're gonna have the
accepts
like
you.
Mario Kart like traffic light thing at the start, you know. Like the...
Yes.
Only for Conc though.
Doesn't Trackmania have that? It's really annoying.
Yeah, it
But
does.
yeah. For me,
The
especially with
countdowns.
Ahop as well, because I just immediately circle strafe, like it feels good, you know. Just like tap R straight into circle strafe.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't mean to do that. Fuck. Yeah, there are like perceived perceived wins that we could do around that too. Like if the game doesn't stutter, right? That's like such a perceived smoothness win. I think... Even if it takes longer for it to load something, right? It'll still be perceived better than the thing that stutters but loads quicker.
Well, kind of, yeah. And reload all materials kind of does that. It just locks the main thread or whatever it's doing. Like,
yeah, classic.
But the thing I just want to say on stuttering and like graphical performance stuff, it's not really related to this question, but whatever. We're definitely getting. It's a bit hard to say because I don't think any of us really play on it, but we do seem to still be getting graphical issues in full screen mode. We would like to get rid of full screen mode, though we probably never will fully because we don't actually have a good way of doing aspect ratio stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not convinced by any of the suggestions of like how we could do that, like on like our rendering system to like do a different aspect ratio stuff, or maybe I don't know. But like there's definitely it seems like there's some issues still with full screen performance on momentum. So maybe we'll just have to get hold of Slide at some time and see what he. We have looked into it.
I mean, the other thing too with DirectX 11, we're not fully utilizing DirectX 11 that we can. There's DirectX 11 has asynchronous like material loading, right? So like that's something that DX9 doesn't have. So we can actually pre-cache and reload all materials in a thread. It doesn't have to be in the main thread anymore.
Just to be clear, I mean I'm talking about like actual game rendering performance, like map loads. I mean that's nice, but it's not. The of game performance stuff, we should look at the full screen stuff at some point because we definitely can there's no benefit of full screen over window borderless in theory.
In DX11
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, DX11 is I'm gonna be getting this slightly wrong and I don't know this stuff very well, but since I want to say Windows 10 or Windows 8. Microsoft's added the like new flip model, I think it's what it's called.
DXGI flip model, yes.
Yeah, right, which is like a way of like specifying like what application gets what allocation of resources or something.
Yeah.
And it essentially allows you to get Windows to ensure that the something with full screen borderless has the same resources as a GPU whatever, as it would if it were in full screen.
Yeah.
So all the things of tabbing between the windows you get for like you just get of it being like windowed borderless, right? But you don't get any performance issues. There used to be a thing with DX9 as well where there was kind of a form of input lag, I think. I don't know if it was input lag exactly or it was like rendering just took slightly longer. Was input lag like there's a difference between the lag of like how long it takes your input to actually register with the game and then how long it takes for the input to maybe be the game reacts to it but then doesn't render it for like a frame later. That can feel like input lag, but it's kind of subtly different, right? But yeah, there was and is a genuine issue with DX9 for that. DX11 does not have that issue. So that's the primary reason we tell people use full screen windowed if you can, because it is full screen windowed, full screen windowed or
borderless full screen or borderless windowed, something like that.
Yeah.
Not normal full screen.
Yeah.
Thankfully, we got rid of.
So the main thing is, you should be able to get the same perf, and in fact, for our case, it's kind of better. So with momentum currently, it seems like in full screen we do have some issues where it won't, unless you like specify the frame rate, the frequency var. Like sometimes the game just doesn't. Hey, look, Nick, you know this. You can do this.
Oh, that the refresh rate stuff.
Yeah. So like that stuff, we should definitely try to fix for people that do want to use full screen. The one serious use case of full screen that I still use in CS2 is if you want to play on stretched. Game developers, even game developers that are quite good at games, like to do this thing where they just pretend that like it's completely ridiculous that anyone wants to play on like 4.3, which I will never not find funny. Like some of the Valve people did it with CS2. There's a specific person who I won't name, though it's not that controversial or anything. He was like ranting about it. It's so ridiculous. Like, why do these like pro CS players like prefer using stretch? Like, come on, you don't actually gain anything. Just use like the normal thing. It's like you are talking, just because you make the game doesn't give you the right to like talk to the people who play your game for like 22 hours a day and say that they prefer 4.3. Like, it's not just some silly trend that makes everyone prefer 4.3. 4.3 is good for FPS games. Like, sorry, I'm just ranting, but yeah, wanting to play on 4.3 stretched or black bars, even though I do find that weird. Anyway, it's completely legit. That's fine. And we do want to keep supporting that. However, you can't do that with full screen window, basically. So we did talk at some point about messing with doing that on the whatchamacallit, something in our rendering and kind of doing some weird rendering trick, I don't know, to change the aspect ratio. I guess we could there, maybe. I don't know.
I like
it's completely possible in theory, right? It's just a matter of can you like force the source engine to do it.
Yeah. So maybe worth messing with. But I'm not sure people would want that, because that would probably just feel different anyway from what they want, which is just the, you know, monitor-based stretching, right? I think what people do actually want is to just play the game on fucking on 4.3, and you just need the game to be output 4.3, and to do that you need to be in full screen, right? As far as I know, because you can't get borderless windows to stretch that. It's like a monitor-based stretching, right? With full screen stretched, I think. I don't know this stuff super well, but anyway. So I expect that what we should, it's close to 1.0, but if Slidey has some time at some point.
Well, yeah, Slidey made matte brightness, which is our new brightness command that works across windowed and full screen. So a similar thing could probably be matte aspect ratio or something, and we just allow borderless windowed to take over, right, and just render the game like that. Because, yeah, I mean, ideally we just have borderless windowed and windowed, and then
But borderless window, like, is that going to do the stretching on the monitor or something?
What?
Like, isn't it the monitor that stretches, or am I just wrong?
No, I
mean,
assume...
you can stretch it in software on the GPU.
Yeah.
You can do that. I don't think there should be a difference unless there's like a specific stretching algorithm that it uses.
I thought it was some like weird monitor-based thing. The actual monitor chip stuff does it. I could be totally wrong though.
It's basically the same as if I took a screenshot of the game in 4.3 and put it in an editor and then just made it wider, right? Or is it different than that?
No, I was under the impression that with full screen, like, I do not know this stuff. So I'm talking completely out of my arse here. By the way, we don't have a specific to release date, Demon Key. That your monitor, right, is just taking a feed of whatever data, just VGA, cable, whatever, and it takes that data in a certain resolution and will stretch that at the monitor level if it's of a certain resolution and it's configured that way, right? And that's what players usually use when they're playing in like 4.3 stretched or whatever, right? I could be completely wrong about that, but I was under the impression that like the GPU is just drawing the game at like whatever 15, so what is it, like 1280 by 720, you know, just some 4.3 resolution, right? So it's producing video data at that resolution, spitting that out down the cable to the monitor, and the monitor then does that stretching.
Yeah, that could very well be how it works.
So my concern would be that if you did that at a software level instead, even if it is theoretically possible, people might just not want that, right? Because they're like, I am used to playing this way, like in CSGO or whatever, CS2, like I want to play on monitor stretched, right?
I I don't think there would be a difference other than maybe it would be less blurry if we do it in software, but I think it would look exactly the same.
It would be really interesting to try, and I don't. Maybe there's somewhere that's tried it. Though it is quite specific. This whole like people liking playing on stretched. That does seem quite unique to certain FPS games. I don't know if like Valorant lets you do that.
I don't want to be that guy. Are we on question still? You know?
Yeah, sorry, we're kind of just talking about whatever at this point.
That's kind of what the format of this is now.
Yeah. But should we move on? We have a couple of questions that we're gonna just answer in like a minute.
Yeah, let's move on to the next one here.
Oh, can I? We had one question in chat. I kind of forgot about it. I'm sorry. It's kind of fast fun. When the game is out, will we do some sort of a records YouTube channel?
We've had this asked before. No.
Me? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Sorry, what were you gonna say though?
I was just gonna say that since I work as a community manager for one game, I'd love to do something like that for the momentum, but if it's now, then no.
The main thing with that is just it isn't within our focus as a team, because what I would love to do with our channel or like our domain is more focusing on creators like mappers or runners and tournaments that we're going to be hosting and things like that. I'd rather focus on those because there's going to be so many fucking world records. Like it's like we could automate uploading it. It's not really a problem. We could, have some maybe partner YouTube channel or something for it as well. Right? Like the main thing with that is like we want to allow the community to do some of these things too, right? We don't want to take over, because some people make really cool edits of world records, right? Like old TF2, right? RJ Weekly, I think the uploads there, like really well edited, really awesome, like design there, and we don't want to just. Like we could do an automatic upload system, right? Have like a computer somewhere that's just running a headless version of the game and render out like a run or something. We could do something like that, but it's just kind of like, I like for anything, if anything, right? We might do just the raw recording of a run to upload, because if one of those. Because that could be nice, because if it gets verified and we render it, then we could like announce it on our Discord and like have people watch it in more ways than just in game, right? So that's the biggest thing there, right? Whereas like we don't want to,
but us working that technology makes sense, right? Yeah. The rendering and stuff seems really good, like especially because we have the engine code or whatever, and we can do that kind of rendery stuff.
And we will have things like SVR integrated as well, right? We'll have in-game recording tools that you can use, even just for your own replays and stuff like that. So, yeah,
there is some precedent as well. Tempest does that. They automatically, I think it's automatic, generate YouTube videos for all of the world records.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
They're not edits, they're just auto-generated, but they are there.
Yeah.
Like something more community-focused, like allowing more community-focused stuff, or just community people, other people that do stuff. Like, we don't have to do everything, and like, it's, it's nice, like, if people don't do it badly, but whatever, like,
There is some channel out there that has the name like Momentum Records or something like that. We have no idea who made that. It's not official, but it looks official. I don't think they've uploaded anything in like 2 years.
Oh, that's funny.
They were not really the best edits.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Is like people do want to use the momentum. I don't know how that would work. Just because like we're not going to be like totally like aggressive over like trademark stuff, right? At the same time, like we don't want people doing a channel that like seems like it's an official thing, but like I don't know.
Yeah, it's really just a delicate balance of like we could do that to like maybe get like ad revenue off of just runs if one pops off or something, but like that's the only thing I could really see us like taking domain over it for, other than just partnering with some.
Do you get more ads if you take ad revenue on YouTube? Do they serve more ads if it's a partnered thing or? They just take all the money themselves otherwise.
No,
What I understand, like, big YouTubers get to like choose how many ads they have. I don't know if all YouTubers do, but the big ones do.
Yeah, because it'd be cool if we could just have fewer ads. That being said, maybe all of our users are smart enough to use AdBlock anyway, so like it's just free money, not annoying for anyone.
I think when ads are mandatory is when you use someone else's copyrighted material, because then they get to decide whether or not they run ads on it. So if you use some third-party music or something, then YouTube might automatically put ads on it. As far as I know,
and obviously we would do that, right? Like it would be important for us to all of our videos to just be just whole albums, just like
we might also like put the actual run itself in a little box in the corner, and then just have the rest of the video be like some movie that recently released,
like old like Windows Media Player graphic.
Hey, there we go.
Yeah, but you know, some like recent blockbuster movie or something like that. You know, that's a normal thing to put on YouTube.
Playing around with
I think that would be good. Yeah, if we were to you know, have the run like every other frame, and then every other frame would be like the latest Top Gun.
Nick, why didn't you use that command that, what is it, mat_, that removes the lighting from the map at all? I forgot.
That's full bright. I used map brightness, which is the new command I was talking about. That was added because this map is a little dark, but that's fine. This kind of Portal's aesthetic. But yeah.
Does map brightness show up on streams?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. It's changing how. That's why it works across full screen versus It's not that stupid gamma mode that's like applying at the driver level and like the gameplay hooks don't catch it or something.
Yeah, TF2 makes both my monitors brighter if I change the gamma.
That's crazy. That sounds about right.
Really?
Yeah, both my monitors get brighter every time I like tab into TF2, and then every time I leave, like they both get.
That's so funny.
Oh, I had that. I think when I bought the new monitor, like I played TF2 a few times.
Have you seen the start of this map, by the way? Have you seen the stairs? They're great.
Whoops.
Have we found out what causes that?
Is it the model or is it like it looks like a Viz leaf?
It looks like,
because it changes when you look around.
I don't think that's. Well, you think? I'm not sure that it's a. It does look like. I think it's. Like, oh no, it does look like it's just random.
Yeah, it's definitely
like positions. Or like...
Oh no. Okay, there is some. No, it does have the like kind of the stairs model. Yeah. So it's something kind of. It's not just like. Sometimes if you do. Like a shader gets completely screwed up, like it will just write like random garbage to the GPU, right? Like, and it will just be. And I don't think it's quite that, because it does kind of have the shape of the stairs.
Yeah, I think it's definitely wild.
Things when I have like produced off by one errors in like vertex indices, they look like crazy. That. I think there's a lot of things that can cause models to spaz out like that.
And it's interesting that specific like points of where you're looking. Like right here, it's like really bad, but then when I look a little bit left,
yeah, and looking behind doesn't show it at all. So maybe it is something.
Like that's what I was thinking. It's like Visleaf, and it's like the engine cut like all of these stairs up in like the pipes into Visleaves, and like because you're standing here, it's like I don't know, but yeah, I don't know why it would cause this. That's terrifying.
It kind of fits the theme, though, aperture, abandoned buildings, it's a ghost.
Yeah,
no, and often when buildings become abandoned, they do start to
animate.
Like give some, it's like some fucking China medieval something. Anyway, Happy, do you want to do the next question?
Yeah, next.
Yeah, sure. Bugs ask, will we release another public build like for
Nick, you went to the question before.
Sorry.
0.8, 0.7 and prior builds before the full release of Momentum? Will we release those? Or...
No. So 087 was just kind of a compromise between not having to build the open source code like client yourself, and not having just only 062 be the last public release. We don't plan on doing that because there's just going to be so many features that effectively are going to require testing on like latest code. So whenever we push an update, we don't want to update that build every single time. That's just effectively releasing at that point. So what we're instead doing is we offered 087 as just a way to try out the game if you just want to surf or bunny hop, right? Like, which is the majority of the people finding the game. But what we eventually are going to do is, release the game at like 1.0, which then everyone will be able to play it. There are, around 32,000 people in the backlog for the I should probably play a different mode. I just realized we're just going down Ahop.
I think we've done all the good Ahop maps. There's one that is like just gimmicky nonsense.
Do you have map? Anyway.
Oh yeah, that's a classic.
But yeah, so there's the 087 build wasn't meant to be kind of like we're like slowly releasing updated builds so that people are weirdly playing out of date builds. It's more just like, this was the code that was right before we went closed source because we have to with the engine license. This was the code that we had publicly, right? Like anyone could have built this. So we just cut a release cut a build and put it on GitHub as a way to be like, hey, try out the game here, but realistically sign up for the playtest because that's way more up to date. Panorama UI, Strata engine, all of that stuff, it's completely up to date now. That's going to be a much better experience, and we're not even supporting 087 anymore. It's completely out of our engine and stuff. So yeah, like realistically, no. There's not really a point to, even if we other than just getting people on this build, but even then you're going to need the game on your momentum, on your Steam account for the momentum backend to be able to even authenticate you. So this map selector won't work if it doesn't in the 087 build, and people always ask how to get maps for it and stuff.
No. This is an important thing the 087 build makes it clear that you need to add maps because BLT went and made it a offline only build. He got rid of a bunch of stuff that needs the web connection. That's the whole point, is that BLT took the time to make that build not a clear what doesn't work, and that you do need to add maps yourself. We're not going to do that with our current thing because we're not going to put dev time into that, right? Sorry if you don't have access yet, but that doesn't mean that we're going to spend time doing a separate offline only build for people, right? That it's not. We have a reason that we're staggering playtest access. We're not giving everyone access immediately. We've spoken about that on a lot of streams before. I'm not going to go into it again now. But we're not going to. The 087 one's a compromise, but also it's a less messy compromise than just if people. That was a custom branch that BLT made just to make it a bit cleaner and make it clearer what stuff wasn't there because it's an online thing. Whilst if you were to build it from source, not on that branch, just the main branch, you're going to get more stuff that just doesn't work and is weird because you don't have any of the web stuff. That would be the same for if we were to just put out a non-Steam build of our current thing without any of that code, any of those changes that BLT made, right? There'd just be more stuff that's completely broken because the multiplayer stuff isn't hooked up. And I'm saying, we're not going to put time into doing a non-multiplayer thing for the current stuff. So the main thing that 087 that build is missing is support for CSGO based maps. So if you do just want to surf and you want to just have a very generic surf game that's pretty much like CSS, 087's good for that. 087 is kind of the best spot, the best you get for that. And some people still use 087 for that. The thing is, it just doesn't support CSGO maps. So everything else is pretty good. We're not gonna do a separate build non-Steam thing. I think we could, right? But we don't want to.
It
would be more dev effort for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not going to maintain it, and
it doesn't really give you. I mean, I guess it gives you the more up to date movement. It's much easier for us to be like, hey, go sign up for playtest and just be patient, because you'll get in, and by the time you get in, it'll be even better, right, than when you signed up. Because we're constantly working on it, right? We're pushing out updates pretty frequently, I'd say. I mean, we're slowing down a little bit because we need to go to.
We're not making
10.
an effort to keep a frequent rate of update stuff, right? Because right now we're working on stuff that is on a completely separate branch because it's all super broken. Like, if you boot up that branch right now, like, it's all only half working, and we still haven't tied up the map select stuff and all that. And but okay, just like with stuff on like not releasing, right? And I don't want to go on about it too much, right? But we're not releasing Momentum to everyone because Momentum's not done, and it's not a game that we want people to use as their like main game for Surf or whatever, right? Like, if people really do want to do that and they don't care about leaderboards whatsoever, they just want to play Surf, then 087's pretty okay for that. Like, some stuff isn't zoned, but you might not care about zones at all, right? You might just be able to, you can often just play the map and just go through it. If that's genuinely what you want to do, you just want to play the map, you don't care about your time, like, you just want to go stage by stage, you can generally do that without zones, right? So you can do that with 087. The only thing is really missing is CSGO stuff. CSGO map support. If people are saying, like, I want to access now just because I want to play the game as my new, like, go-to Surf game, or whatever, like, that's just not, we're not willing to release Momentum as that, because it's not ready at that point yet. All the stuff that we're trying to do to make Momentum the good game to play Surf in, or whatever, is not finished, and it will be finished at 1.0.
A lot of people getting access to the game right now are just straight up only playing like an hour and being like, oh, this is a cool concept, and I'll wait until it's updated, or they're like, this game sucked.
Yeah, the game's not that playable right now. It doesn't have any maps, and it's like got a lot of jank.
Yeah.
There's loads of stuff that we have right now that like is jank, we know is jank, and we're just not working on it because we have like other stuff scheduled. So like it's kind of, there's so much stuff. I'm looking at like I'm playing Surf right now, looking at like this Wraith Sync bar and Surf and getting annoyed by it, which is like completely pointless. But like, I'm not going to fix that right now because there's other stuff, and that will be something we will do by 1.0, but like is not a super pressing thing. So like, it's just, But for if people just want to play like an existing Surf map or whatever, usually for Surf at least, you can play that in 087. Rocket Jump and Sticky Jump will work. I think Conc, don't think was finished then.
No, yeah.
I don't know. I think defrag's in like, I mean, if you want to play defrag as crazy, I would say.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway, taking too long on this question. We've answered this before, pretty much.
Yes.
But let's move on.
That's the main reason. Yeah. So it's just be on the playtest, please. Okay. Sorry. Now you can take the next question.
The next question. Caustic asks, will this game have original soundtrack? Yes, it will, and I guess I can't say really what type of music there's gonna be because nothing's set in stone. But I guess to give you a general idea of what you should looking for, I've been making music for Payday 2, unfortunately. So. If you ever played Payday 2, if you ever played, there's a game that was released recently, RoboQuest, and soundtrack there is just slaps. It was made by Noise Scream, I guess, so something in that style. There's gonna be some music from some composers, like the really small underground composers that I really like too. And usually they do those it's not really lo-fi, but it's kind of like chill music, I guess, kind of atmospheric ones. So yeah, me personally, I'll try to make different genres, expect rock, because I don't really have rock instruments on me, but still. So yeah, just lots of genres, that I guess one thing that I can say is that stop me, Nick or Tom, if I'm gonna say something that I shouldn't say, but I guess I can say that campaign and its chapters, I guess, it's gonna have its different genre in it. So you'll find something probably that you're gonna like. So yeah, lots of music. Probably no break core because I don't really like that genre. Yeah, but just I'm gonna try to do everything that's gonna fit our game. You know, that fast pace, different modes, so different genres. So yeah, lots of music, lots of idea that I have, and hopefully I'm gonna deliver them nice. So yeah, that's I guess pretty much all I can say for now.
Yeah, just to be clear, this is talking about campaign stuff, which is definitely a while off.
Yes.
I don't know if we are going to do like main menu music for 1.0. That's the plan, or
could be good.
Custom trailer stuff, or
yeah, trailer songs. Yeah.
I actually kind of like wanted to start making that because I have an idea of the main menu track.
Nice.
So I'll try to when I have time, because but with my work,
yeah,
kind of hard, but still.
Nick, when I got to this stage for the first time with this map, I for some reason thought you had to like jump off of this top bit because of the color of it.
Yeah,
I kept trying to do like
that's what I thought too, and then I just shoot the wall at the bottom.
Yeah, that worked for the wall at the bottom works. Yeah, if you have stock, it's easier. At least it is if you're not bad. But
not for leads vocal for the music. I actually had this really weird idea. The Payday when they released the last DLC for Payday 2, they made like orchestra music with the vocals, like it has two versions, the vocals one, not the
an orchestra's are cheap.
And I had this really, really bad idea to sort of like maybe take our team voices and make something like this,
make an orchestra.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
Yeah, sounds great. That's really good.
And if I, maybe for the main menu, who knows, if I come up with something where vocals can be used, maybe we can make it. Who knows, right?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
I think that when the game first starts, we should like prompt the player to sing their own menu song into the microphone, and then that's what they hear every time they start the game.
That actually isn't a bad idea. That seems like something like WarioWare would do, or like some goofy game would do that. But yeah, not a bad idea.
So yeah,
lots of speed. I just need the height.
Lots of idea, just need to kind of understand how we're gonna implement them in game, I guess.
Yeah.
We still didn't decide it on the sound engine, right? Like we're gonna use for the game.
If we're using like Fmod or something?
Yeah, Fmod or like Source one, whatever Source S.
Yeah, we'll have to look into it. I mean, if it makes it easier to do things, for sure. Like if there's definitely ways to use the Source one to do it. It's not, the Source audio code just isn't the greatest. Not to break NDA or anything, but it's just it's written by one guy, and I mean that guy knew what he was doing, but nobody else does, and that's the problem with having not really.
I still have no idea how we're gonna do like rocket sound Doppler effect, because that's essential for defrag. You need that. It's if you don't have that, you can't play.
Yeah, we could look into doing something like OpenAL too. I mean, I don't know. We don't have to use. I mean, we moved over to libsnd file, which is pretty cool. It allows us to now read OGGs and FLACs. So you can actually use OGGs and FLACs in your map now. which is actually kind of pog. But yeah, I mean, we're gonna be. Why am I bouncing so high? It's so weird. I guess because I'm looking straight down and not. I need to look behind a little. But I thought like looking straight down just gives you horizontal speed. But yeah, I mean, a lot of the sound. No, I know the water gives bigger knockback. In fact, yeah, like sharking on the water apparently is not even correct. But we were gonna look into that down the line too. We got a lot of minor gameplay improvements like that. Ooh, almost. Oh shit. Okay, that wall's solid though. Could use that.
Oh, we can do it.
Next question?
Yeah, next question.
Yeah, the next question, Leandros. I'm sorry if I'm butchering. Will there be a CL underscore pitch down and underscore pitch up command for the upside down play?
What does that do?
I think we were talking about like fun little like modifiers. We have what was it, Mirror World, but no, pitch up and pitch down were removed in particular because they could be used for very cheese nefarious like shit. It's really just the what the commands do is it allows you to set a kind of a lock on your view for how low or how high you can look with pitch down, pitch up. For us, we want you to be able to kind of have the same movement as everybody else, or your same camera movement as everyone else. So we got rid of it just because it's effectively just kind of an assist tool that isn't, it isn't worth allowing. Because the precedent it sets by allowing is just not great. So, yeah, no, most likely to this, because, easy. Mainly because, yeah, we just want to keep that in mind. I mean, if we want to do an inverted, as in like vertically flipped thing, we already have one for, was it CL Mirror World? Yeah, CL Mirror World. I can't change it while in a run. That sucks. My runs don't matter. But yeah, I can change it, and now it is literally the map but flipped. And for this corridor, probably not the best example because it's a straight corridor. But I can go to another map, and I challenge all A-hoppers to do Ahop Coast with it on. Pretty good. So, yeah.
The next question then?
Yeah, next question, please.
ED asks, how have we thought about implementing a trikz mode?
We have. We've actually answered this multiple times. Yeah, multiple times now. No, we are not going to add it because Momentum is actually a fully single-player game. And I know you might be asking that, seeing a bunch of like people moving around right here, but that's because our networking is zero ping in the sense that it doesn't affect your gameplay. The ping doesn't affect your gameplay to other people because we're not simulating a server that everybody's synchronizing their movement to. We're instead just networking where people are whenever, you get like the packet for it. So It's not real time. Like it's not synchronized real time multiplayer. It's instead just kind of like ghosts that you can see.
Nick, shoot a rocket at my feet and I'll jump when I see the rocket.
Okay. So that's the delay.
Again?
It was like around 2 to 3 seconds. And that's just how it is, right? Because it doesn't really matter how fast.
We can't do tricks.
Yeah, you can't do tricks with that. Right. And I mean, to be fair, on the other side of this, you get zero ping gameplay, right? I'm playing as if I'm in a single player lobby right now, or single player like game right now. But like I still have the best of both worlds with having, Tom messing around here. I can see and even spectate Tom, right? But it just won't be exactly like, where their movement should be in the game because we're just kind of like, Tom's just sending me their position packets whenever they get mine. And so it's like, that's how we just do networking, right? So yeah, I think tricks and hide and seek and combat surf are really cool. It's just not the focus, unfortunately, of Momentum.
The other one,
yeah. But yeah, so that's just like it's just not fitting in the single player speedrun focused gameplay of Momentum. You know, so
Momentum 2.0 will have the market garden arena.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, we get lobbies. Lobbies, effectively servers, are completely free. You have 0 ping at all times, and the trade-off is we can't have tricks.
Yeah.
So we think that's a very easy trade-off, and it is a genuine trade-off. You can't have both. Like, it just wouldn't. Yeah. The two different forms of networking. We've answered it in more detail in other places, but yeah.
No, there's not going to be MGA Grandma. That was a joke. I think in theory you probably could have like some sort of weird hybrid networking where like
yeah, no, maybe, but
like that would be an entire project on its own. Like that's way out of scope of what it
But it's keep in mind that for that to work, a Momentum makes a lot of assumptions just about the client and the server being in the same place. So you'd have to refactor a bunch of stuff that like doesn't even necessarily relate to that stuff. But we'd have to refactor a ton of code just because.
Be like a game on its own, really. Like that would be something to explore in not Momentum.
It would be if death hell.
Yeah.
Like, we probably would have to compile 2 different. Or would we? I don't know. It would be a nightmare.
It would be a nightmare, though. It'd be another engine refactor, which you're a big fan of, Tom.
Yeah, I love those.
It's great. I mean, to be fair, we've done a lot of great cleanup.
File headers,
oh yeah, the compression. It'd be another compression level.
But yeah, like there's so.
Oh, so close.
It's such a no-brainer for us doing the networking the way we do, and it works super well. And literally, yeah, like this is multiplayer. There's no server hosting going on for us to play multiplayer every time we want to set up a lobby. Like it's more effort for us to set up the webcam and stuff each time. It's for like
that's true.
Hosting like a lobby full of people.
How do I?
Oh. Cool. Should we move on?
Yeah.
Yeah. The next question, Twitchy asks, would we like to have workshop support for custom game modes, cosmetics, huds, and etc.?
I mean, game modes, absolutely not. No. Cosmetics, probably not. If we do have cosmetic system in the future, where we definitely like the idea of users being able to submit cosmetics, but workshop in the sense of TF2 cosmetics actually makes some sense, like TF2 does, right? Where people submit stuff to get added to the game, but stuff like workshop is a way of just sharing stuff that people can download from each other. We don't want to do, because that's what our whole map selector system's for. And then custom game modes, it's like, no. I mean, maybe we do shareable custom game modes and like 2.0 game mode mixing, maybe, but like not for a very long time. So anything that's like user sharing stuff is kind of not something we're interested in. Though cosmetics. That being said, HUDs maybe, but HUDs are just really complicated because we have kind of different levels of HUD customization as possible, and we do have a plan for a in-game HUD customizer. But if we wanted to do sharing for that, I think we just do it via our backend because it would be really easy.
Yep.
Because it's just going to be a JSON file anyway, or a KV3 file anyway.
Yeah. I mean,
we have interop between those. If we wanted to just be able to load and save JSON-based HUD files, we could literally just store that in our DB. Just a JSON field in DB if we really wanted, and have like a system for that on our backend. Like, just because it's so easy, and we just let like users submit HUDs.
Yeah.
Something like that. Like, that's genuinely like pretty straightforward for us to do if we really wanted. So maybe we do that. I don't know if Workshop works that well for that. Because it's such like a small thing, like yeah.
Shut out.
Also, yeah, like Toop said, all these repeated questions, if you want better answers, there's a big Q&A doc index in our Discord and places.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's all. If we missed any question, ask us more in chat. Yeah, for...
I didn't realize.
So either join our Discord, we have Q&A live channel, or just ask us in chat. I'll try to read them. Yeah.
But yeah, for now we'll just continue playing the game here for a bit. Yeah, because these Q&As used to be way more formal, and you'll see that if you end up going into the past ones. We used to be kind of more focused on just the question, answering the question, having discussion around it. Whereas we can still do that, but now we're going to show off more of the game while you watch and listen, because that way, you know, you have your ADHD Subway Surfers gameplay in the bottom. Or no, sorry. while you listen.
We have a question though.
Yeah.
Thoughts on Palworld controversy? Sorry, I'm sleepy. Basically on Palworld situation. If you if you saw it, it's like
I think it's funny.
Palworld.
Palworld is Pokemon with guns, apparently.
Yeah.
Well, Pokemon survival game with guns. I think it's interesting. I think that, I mean, obviously Nintendo doesn't own the rights to making colorful cartoon characters, because otherwise every fucking like show and stuff would be sued. But
Digimon in shambles.
Yeah,
but
right?
also I don't care about like Palworld or Nintendo's like copyrights anyway. People like stealing Nintendo stuff is funny. Like the thing for me with Palworld, it just looks shit. Like I get if the gameplay's good and stuff, then that's totally valid. It's just the actual assets just look so bad. Like
it's so close.
By the way, Nick, off the topic, I think you need to finish the last course so you can jump into the pool, shoot the rocket in there, and you'll fly this section over.
I mean, this is possible without that, right?
I mean, yeah, but I'm just saying, like, you can.
I got really close.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
I'm getting the hang
I think it's pretty easy.
It's really just the angle. But yeah, I think Palworld. I'm not a big fan. I haven't really played Pokemon games or anything, so a lot of the times, like, I'm not like really interested in that kind of stuff. I think it's just interesting that like the way that it's exploding is really just there are Pokemon fans that want like an actual proper like game that isn't garbage, and this is like an avenue for that. And it's hopefully sending the right message to Nintendo that like, hey, you know, that IP that you have that's been pretty stagnant over the last like couple years now, or like I'd say probably even more than that. I don't really play Pokemon games. I hear about how bad like Arceus and stuff were, right? But like it's just such a like good example of like, first of all, like Nintendo being able to just like sit on an IP that they have that's beloved and just watch, like, I don't know, like see it just get trashed, I guess. And like this game coming out and just eating their lunch is very funny. But I think what's gonna happen is it might kick them into like I mean, if they can't take down the Palworld like monsters, because it is, I mean, I don't know, it is, I would consider it fair use because it's Pokemon-esque, but again, Nintendo doesn't own the right to like naming a cartoon character, right? That's like, you know, fluffy or what, you know, like, and maybe there is so much comparison probably because the devs of Palworld like Pokemon and wanted to just actually have a fun like Pokemon game to play, which is funny. But I
guess
can we put this question on the Q&A index?
Okay, I want to give a take. This isn't really a hot take. I'm just, Palworld's made so much money, right? Like it is actually a sold thing, like on Steam. Right? It's early access, but like you have to buy it, I think.
Yeah.
But like Palworld, it does seem also kind of shitty and kind of a cash grab. No, like. They have some other games
it is questionable.
Like it was just an absolute rip-off of Hollow Knight.
And then another game was a rip-off.
So my question,
Breath
like,
of the Wild.
Is this company gonna survive?
That's a good question. Yeah,
because they're gonna bring in so much money, and like suddenly, like, okay, they've done Craftopia, according to Steam.
Wow.
But like it was mixed. Okay.
Look, was there confirmed?
Was this just a Zelda ripoff? It looks like
was there like confirmed usage of AI though? Because like I remember there was a rumor that they actually used AI for that, but like I didn't know
the Palworld stuff.
Yeah, I know.
And then
like,
you
but
get into the legal gray area of AI generated content and the fact that it heavily used copyrighted sources to train, but like you can't prove that it was like, oh, like
loads of stuff is doing that. Like,
yeah.
So
but
get accused of using AI to
it
copy
would take
Pokemon
it would take
matches.
some really major
Oh,
cases
I hit
for stuff like that.
Oh, Jesus.
I mean, yeah, this looks like insanely.
It's
Cash
just
grabbing.
funny. I think genuinely, if the company pulls off a successful long-term game, then yeah, it's cool. I think it's cool that like yeah, they got the ability to kind of capture the spirit of Pokemon fans into a unique, fresh take on the genre, but at the same time, I'm not interested in it, so I'm not gonna play it. I don't really care that much about it. I just think it's a little weird, right? If the studio from before was like not really experienced or not making great games, if they come out with this and like, can they deliver? Like that's the same thing. It's the same thing for looking at
It
momentum.
doesn't seem like the game is bad, but is good because of the content or anything. It seems like the gameplay itself is quite good. People like that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Then it's the content itself just looks like fucking terrible. Like it's like Fortnite characters and like Pokemon.
I mean,
Yeah.
I've been told to inform you that Pokemon is not owned by Nintendo. They just publish it.
Oh, they publish it. Gotcha. Anyway, yeah, it's Game
Freak or something.
Yeah. Interesting.
I don't know. There's a few characters I've seen from Pal World that look very, like, extremely similar to the Pokemon equivalents.
Yeah.
But I feel like they could even if they were copying specific like characters and stuff, they could probably defend themselves by saying it's kind of a parody, because it is like on the nose, giving them fucking like guns and making them work in camps and stuff.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Slave labor and stuff. Yeah.
We kind of have a question. YouTube streams when?
I guess we could dual stream. There's not really a purpose for us. Like we're not really in it for. Maybe I guess closer to 1.0.
Many people watch YouTube. I think we do have quite a few YouTube subs. We do get good views on the VODs, so maybe we should.
Are we allowed to do that now? Like,
yeah, we are.
Change their policies, or was that always allowed?
Yeah, no, it is. No, it's fully allowed. Yeah, it's interesting. For the longest time, yeah, it wasn't straight up even allowed. But the main problem with YouTube is mainly just their API's dog shit. Or it's like it's really general. Like you're trying to do a YouTube search. Like we wanted to add YouTube stream support to the Twitch bot, right? Like, or sorry, our Twitch like announce part of our bot for Discord. And you just can't find streams by game. I don't know why they don't have that. That seems extremely easy to do. But like from their API, you have to do like 3 different like I think function calls or something.
It was a bit better now, isn't it? I thought someone said something about
I mean, for the longest time, it was not great, and that's why we just didn't care.
Yeah.
But yeah, we could look into doing it, especially if we're starting to get a lot of viewership of people finding the game and like checking out the Q&A streams, and maybe they don't like Twitch. I cannot do this jump. I think I'm gonna just forfeit. Go to another map. I've been trying this for like 10 minutes straight.
I guess to kind of like close that question on the Pal Words about AI, it happened that I like my real life work. I work with the AI there, and I found out that even though AI like steals the idea or like the images or whatever, it can give you a great ideas, right? Like yes, it can steal like I don't know the images, combine it into the one, but it'll give you a really great reference you can work from, right? So I don't know, maybe those models is like they found out for some reason those that were interesting. I don't know, like AI is really interesting. I don't know how to explain, but like I'm under NDA, I can't say stuff about my job, but like AI gives you sometimes great ideas. That's what I'm trying to say, right? Maybe they use those model-wise. I don't know. Maybe they decided that models
ideas for the game.
Yeah, that's models, images, like everything.
But I mean, the models are clearly from Pokemon, right?
I know.
If the AI told them, if you ask the AI, how should I make my video game, and they said, copy Pokemon. I don't know if that would be better or worse. I mean, you're still making something incredibly derivative.
Yeah. It depends. It depends on the person. Like if the person is really lazy, it's like, yeah, all right, it'll work. If the person is actually like, nah, that's not gonna work. Give me something interesting, and and just work it from there. I don't know.
But yeah, like Tought says, I mean, all the AI stuff is so obviously wrong. Like, come on. Like, if you're using AI as a concept artist because you don't want to pay a concept artist, you're just stealing some weird amalgamation of stuff made by content artists. Like this, it's not. If you don't have if all the content that the stuff was training was like given willingly, then sure, but it isn't.
Yeah.
I've never understood how there's like any kind of supposed ethical justification for that. It just seems so plainly wrong. But it's really powerful and makes you a lot of money, so we'll pretend it's okay. But yeah.
It'd be cool if like IP laws were like rewritten so that it's like you have maybe like 10 years with an original idea, and if you don't like evolve it into something else, then it's just public domain at the end of that. I don't know.
It's so complicated, and trying to make that in a way that doesn't end up being really detrimental to some people and just exploited by certain large companies. Like, if that was the case, like, do you really think like Nintendo wouldn't be able to like fight some legal case there saying that they had done stuff with Pokemon? Like,
yeah,
I mean, like, I don't know. I mean, everyone has hot takes about AI, and I guess it's kind of everything's already been said at this point. But like, Dora asks, anyone updating the issues on Lumpa, or should I just wait for me, Tom, to finish web stuff? What issues on Lumpa? What am I looking at? I can look at it. I don't know what you need.
Oh, man. Suck a bunny up. Yeah, I don't know. Generative AI has always been just...
opinion on whether a hamburger and hot dog is a sandwich. I mean, hamburger is technically a sandwich.
Hamburger's a sandwich, yeah, but a hot dog is a taco.
Crispy, get out of here! Get out of here, Crispy.
Oh, that's a good, actually, really great
question. I think burgers are clearly sandwiches.
Yeah.
Which makes it so weird. Like, we're so uninnovative. I think there's less innovation because we don't see burgers as being sandwiches, and so all the burger innovation is like. Here's another hot take. I think burgers have like a low skill ceiling
to make.
No, or like not skill ceiling, but like a quality ceiling. The quality ceiling for burgers is quite low. Like a really good burger, like you can add like really expensive ingredients if you want, but like they don't like complement a burger that well typically, I'd say. Like, so there's no reason to buy a burger for more than like 20 quid, which is like a stupid insane price for a burger already, but like any like burger that's like more than like, let's say $50 in America land.
Yeah.
Like, you're getting ripped off, and you're just a fucking idiot if you're paying for that.
I've never had a burger that's that expensive.
Yeah.
Okay, like $20. Let's say $20. Like, there's not. You can use like very good bacon, very good beef. I mean, it's mince at the end of the day.
Oh, it's
like,
not that. Just come to Southern California, and that's just like going out for a meal.
Right.
Can we
Like,
continue that after there's a question? Can the Momentum watch family shared on Steam?
No. For some reason, games that aren't fully released yet, or I guess the playtest version of games, cannot be family shared. It's weird. We don't have control over that. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, can we go back to talking about burgers now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, real quick to answer the other question about workshop stuff, we're not doing any workshop stuff in the near future, and if we do, like we talked about earlier, it's going to be fairly limited to like maybe cosmetics.
Yeah, what do you mean by
maybe HUD
customization?
stuff.
Cosmetics would be stuff that you submit to get added to the game that we pick, right? It's not users download stuff, right? It's like TF2 kind of cosmetics. And then maybe HUDs, but like HUDs I don't think we do as workshop, probably.
Right.
Because HUDs are quite likely to be literally just a bunch of JSON data.
I mean, you could also do like
file that we could do ourselves.
You could also do cosmetic mods that are just like modifying your view models and stuff. That's like all local and not shared.
I wouldn't see a problem with using the workshop to share those kinds of things, though. I mean, if somebody makes like a funny rocket launcher and wants to share it, like I guess Game Banana would work, but I don't see why we couldn't use the workshop for something like that.
Yeah, no, that might be right. They use cylinder bounding box for angle fixing ramp stuff. I think we had that. We had a working version of that Disres, but we've just not done it in ages, or we've not thought about it for a while. That was something Rio was working on.
At it, and from what he told me, it was too weird to go forward with because there were really odd situations on, like, if you have a vertical ramp that's going down and then it curves to be horizontal, it feels really odd. And so I think he said probably shelving that for now, unless maybe it's okay. I think all of the code necessary to do that is in the game already.
Yeah,
there's just low-level tracing stuff like we've got in.
Yeah,
where
it's just set up to use a bounding box right now instead of a cylinder.
Yeah.
But I don't think we're going to enable that anytime soon unless there's a lot of testing done with it.
Yeah, next time I'm trying to Rio, I might ask him if I remember. And just in case, like, if it's easy to get in and just behind, like, a single convar that people could just use and test, then it might be fun to get it in. But if it felt really weird and it's going to be a bunch of work even getting in a build, then, like, it sounds like it's probably just a kind of oddity, not something that we'd seriously do. Especially with surf, like, we can't go, like, totally changing surf stuff. But anyway, I think with sandwiches, right, like, the quality ceiling of a sandwich is like way higher than a burger. You can put way more stuff in a sandwich, and so a super expensive sandwich is like more legitimate. Like you can, you're not kind of killing a sandwich by putting weird stuff in a sandwich, whilst you generally are killing a burger if you put weird stuff in a burger.
What kind of weird stuff kills a burger?
I was
like,
probably go on.
Horseradish.
Don't eat frog roll. Horseradish could be alright. I mean, it's beef, right? I like horseradish. And I don't like horses.
I probably was right too, but I remember I like the hamburgers are technically sandwiches just because back in the they were made in Hamburg, Germany.
Yeah.
when tailors wanted to beef and they gave bread to them, so they kind of slap them, and that's your hamburger, which is technically a sandwich, right?
There was a big thing in the UK a while ago though, that ended up being this whole like legal weird thing. So it's for tax reasons and how you can like sell and market them. So in the UK they're actually technically cakes.
No, you made that up.
No, it's true.
No, I don't think so.
UK, they're cakes?
Yeah.
That's like the pizza or vegetables kind of thing.
Well, no, kind of, no. But in the UK, burgers are technically cakes.
I don't believe it.
Look it up.
Oslo asked, did Bray get the thick triples Con was made?
Not yet.
Yeah,
I
maybe
haven't
ask
seen a
Bray
cover
when
yet.
Nightingale's released. I think Bray's
Yeah.
pretty busy. She's definitely interested in doing it, I think.
Yes. And so am I. I am very interested in the testing around it.
Yeah.
Would you
Yeah,
eat
I don't.
a
The hamburger thing isn't. I don't think it is actually from hamburger, but they are cakes in the UK.
here in Russia, if we just put mayonnaise on the bread, it's considered a sandwich.
I mean, yeah.
I don't know.
I have like
Put some
strong-
tomato on top of that, and that's actually a
Yeah,
pretty good
oh.
snack.
Some people say that like mayonnaise is disgusting,
I love it.
I
mayonnaise.
I think mayonnaise is neither. Both disgusting mayonnaise is good, but also posh mayonnaise, which is completely different from disgusting mayonnaise, is also good. So there's two different kinds of mayonnaise that are
Yeah.
like completely different things, and I like both of them. Like the like shitty like Heinz mayonnaise.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
don't use that as a posh mayonnaise. Don't do that an egg in a sandwich. That is
Right.
disgusting.
Right.
But that was like whatchamacallit?
Sriracha, ketchup.
Yeah, no, yeah, there's the classic like I don't like
Yeah.
the ketchup in that of the like mayo sriracha. I know there's like mayo sriracha mayo is like a really standard thing, like everywhere does stuff
Yeah.
with.
Yep.
But then there's also that plus ketchup, and that's like a kind of classic like burger sauce now. I'm not a big fan of that. I just think ketchup is just too sweet there, and like
True. Yeah.
go
Ketchup
for
can-
like
yeah.
I would just go for like burger sauce, like just like
Is
like,
mayonnaise
a
a
good
movement
pickle.
technique?
Instead of like ketchup, and like it's probably quite good, right? Sriracha mayo pickle, because like you got like brine and acidity from that.
Yeah.
So.
I hate mayonnaise on most things, but I like it on like BLTs.
Yeah.
That's the kind of thing.
Where it
And the
cuts
crappy
through.
mayonnaise is like kind of okay there.
Yeah.
I don't like that stuff with like other fats though. So if you have that with like on egg mayonnaise, that's kind of a bit because it's like it's all I don't know.
Mayo
got the
cheese.
Mayonnaise to make
We
grilled
got a
cheese.
really great question.
But
Thoughts on,
Mayo.
thoughts on ketchup on spaghetti? I mean,
It's
that's kind of nice.
disgusting.
I don't know.
Just weird. I mean, like
No,
just
don't do
spaghetti
that.
noodles, or like spaghetti that's already. I don't know. Like
There's so much better sauces to put on a spaghetti. Why would you
Yeah.
put ketchup?
Look, the thing ketchup is like tomato, which is already sweet, plus sugar.
Yeah.
Which in some cases is okay, right? But like with like just like pasta, that's gross. That's too much sugar, right? You're making something like kind of sweet at that point. You know?
Oh, shit.
Clarification is just cooked spaghetti, so I guess it's just like they,
Disgusting.
yeah. That
If you
that
did maybe
kinda-
that and like no.
If you take
I-
spaghetti, sausage, and the ketchup, then yes, that might be a great meal.
I know some people like to put ketchup on their macaroni.
Oh yeah.
Look,
Yeah,
I know
see
it's
that.
I know it's me being all fucking middle class and whatever, but I do like with pasta, like pasta sauce that you just add on top of a pasta is just shit. Like even cheap pasta, like if you're making a pasta dish and you are like rather than like doing like ketchup, like tinned tomatoes that you just like sort of boil down for like 5 minutes.
Well, here's
with,
a
like,
good.
a bit of some other stuff. It's going to be so much better. So
Yeah.
do that and then add the pasta to that. Add some of the pasta water and like finish it and actually bind the pasta sauce. Like I'm not just being stupid and fancy there. Like that is just a
That's
better
gonna
way
be
of doing
tasty,
kind of the
yeah.
same
I
thing.
don't. That's gonna be all watery though. I don't
No,
think-
it's not because you're gonna reduce some of the tomato water and stuff, and you're gonna be using starchy pasta water, and like it's just that thing of like you just got to do the pasta like super al dente, bring it out, put it in the sauce, get it like burbling, let it reduce a bit, and then you get that like nice binding. Add a bit of oil as well for like some emulsification, and then you just get like that's when you get like the creaming, right? You cream the sauce, which is
Or
you
you
don't
get-
need.
You get a nice canned sauce and you just put it on top.
But no,
So it just-
like if you if you are
Yes.
gonna put it on top, like you get it in like just get like canned tomatoes. Do you say potato?
San Marzano tomatoes are just like a classic buy for me.
Oh,
You can just crush them and make like just add like basil and garlic powder and
but yeah, like a good tomato
simple.
sauce like that is so easy to do.
Mm-hmm.
But you need to just not. You want to still finish the pasta in that sauce, like in the pan, not just pour it straight on top. And like with like a ketchup thing, like why just use some sensible herbs. Come on, ketchup's like the Heinz ketchup and shit is just expensive anyway.
That's true.
What do you mean?
Heinz ketchup is like pretty expensive
compared to like buying like a can of tomatoes that'll probably last you like 3
tomatoes like are just a hella cheap. Also, tomato paste. This is I hate talking to Americans. It's so confusing. Like I switch my pronunciation like on and off with like I know it's about like time as well, but like genuinely just like reducing a pan of like tomatoes down, I guess is like if you're okay with using 2 pans, you can do that in the same time that you can do pasta, right?
Yeah.
Like dicing an onion and like quickly like browning that, some garlic, and then like half a can of tomatoes. You can do in the same time it takes to bring a pan of water to boil and boil the pasta. You know?
Yeah.
Don't use fucking ketchup. Do that. It's fine.
Fuck. I have to go over there.
All this talk about the mayonnaise and ketchup, I remember a really long time ago. It was like 2010 or something. We had a TV series in Russia about like student life, and there was I guess we can sort of call it like local meme. There was a character which was kind of like, like, hey, I'm strong but I'm stupid. And there was a running gag which is kitchenesse, which is basically he took the ketchup and mayonnaise and mixed it. And it kind of was like in trend in Russia for a long time. And I remember one of the companies who make mayonnaise and ketchup, they sold it as a separate like product you could buy, which was like Jesus, like you can, and it was, I think it was really expensive, I think, and it's like, why would you?
They sold it like combined, or
yeah.
Don't you have to use like some really gross like emulsifiers to make that work? I don't know. I feel like the ketchup is quite acidic, right? And it's gonna, whilst mayo is like really just an emulsification of. Well, actually, I never understand with mayonnaise because I don't know how the cheap mayonnaise is made. I know how to make the posh mayonnaise, right? Which is like egg yolk and olive oil, basically just that, and a bit of mustard and salt, and a bullet.
That's American mayonnaise.
Yeah.
What would be a funny thing to like put in the blender? And yeah, I do use a blender. No, I'm not using a fucking pestle and mortar. Get out of here.
Totally do this. Hold on. Fuck. Okay, never mind.
They really? They sell it? Mayo chup? Why? It doesn't even sound right.
But like,
yeah, they do.
Mayonnaise. Posh mayonnaise is really good.
Yeah.
Also like aioli, which is not mayonnaise, but they're similar.
Yeah. Yep.
I love making a fucking fierce aioli. Like aioli, like is if you make like a homemade aioli, you can make it like scarier than like a hot sauce, like a hot sauce.
Oh, shit.
Like take like 4 cloves of raw garlic and use so an aioli you're gonna do. What is it? You're gonna put the garlic and the egg yolk together, and you're gonna do kind of similar to a mayonnaise. Bit of lemon juice at the end. But because you're like you're getting like all the like allicin and the garlic is like really like exposed and stuff, and it kind of stays there, and it really like you put it in the fridge and like a few days later and it's still like fierce, like it's hot. But it's great, it's delicious.
Opinions on clam chowder? What is that?
We don't really have clams in the UK.
I hate clam chowder.
I actually prefer lobster chowder over clam chowder. I don't know why.
Oh, wow.
I like
controversial opinion. Yeah, I love
I love a more expensive seafood.
I love
chowder.
cheap. Yeah, I love
Wait, is
using
this like a
I love every time I
Yeah,
have
it's
a
a soup.
lobster.
Yep, chowder is
I
a
just
soup.
like,
It's a thick, creamy soup that
grab a
usually has
lobster down the
potatoes. And
I love to
meat.
make like a cheap, simple lobster chowder.
But yeah, we used to. I mean, like even just imitation lobster. I mean, like real lobster is just too expensive. But like imitation lobster makes it just. I don't know. It's good.
Oh, I like.
Hold on. Here's a
the
good question about
like,
macaroni. Macaroni and sauce. What cheese makes the best? Like bechamel sauce? Or no, not bechamel. Roux. What cheese makes the best roux for a mac and cheese?
You do not know what a roux is.
Chowder, or how do I
Or
say it?
is a roux the
A roux is a
the-
very specific thing. A roux is a combination of a fat and flour.
Oh.
Cheddar,
So
thanks.
Yeah.
the roux is the base. So a bechamel has a roux base.
That's
So a
what
bechamel is
so
when
bechamel was the right one. Okay.
So a
sorry.
bechamel is you start with a roux and then you add
the cheese. Yeah.
milk.
Oh, milk.
No, you add milk. Yeah,
Fuck.
bechamel is milk. Cheese you
Shit.
add to a roux, and it's spelled ROUX. By the way.
UX. Yeah. Yep.
I actually remember I tried to cook like an actual mac and cheese, so it's not like I just cooked the macaroni, simple cheese on it. I made that, and the recipe I used was using a flour, butter, and lots of cheese.
Yeah.
And it didn't work out. I think I burned my pan. or
Oh
something.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with some mac and cheese recipes don't use a roux.
Milk.
Like
Yeah.
that, then it will be like just milk and like craft singles or whatever. I've never had like
Oh,
I don't know. I
God.
like apparently
Yeah.
it's good. I've never had that kind of like kind of soul food style mac and cheese. Like apparently it's good. It looks good.
Are we
But
talking
I
I
not
made
a
like a
fan. I like-
casserole
I like-
dish with breadcrumbs on top? That kind?
don't know if there's breadcrumbs on top, but
That's the kind that would be at every potluck that I would do.
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, the deep dish kind of baked mac and cheese
Yeah.
is my favorite type. Yeah.
So when I cook macaroni and cheese, I do a kind of posh one, I guess. So it's not something I already make that much. It's not sort of like
How? Wait.
I
What?
do think you want like tanginess, and some of the like processed cheeses are good for tang. If it's something that tastes like it's got like what is it, tangy cheese, Doritos in, those are good. I once had I remember as a kid, I had a macaroni and cheese at a. I don't know if I want to say this actually. This makes me sound like such a.
How do you
I'm gonna say
fucking
this.
do this?
I once had a mac and cheese at a 2 Michelin star restaurant. I just remembered this. I was a kid, and it was for like my grandmother's like birthday. We
Really?
went to Le Manoir,
Wow.
Raymond Blanc's restaurant, and I don't remember that much about it. But I remember having a mac and cheese, and it was like amazing. It was like a really small portion. It's like a posh
Tiny
restaurant
plate.
where they're like small portions, but then it's like
Mac
kids'
and
small
cheese.
portions. Oh, it was really good.
There
but
we
like,
go. Oh, no, fuck. I need another boost. Need one off the wall.
but wait, what was the clam chowder? What is? Michelin star Big Mac. But a lot of those posh restaurants will do a cheap
American.
menu for that, right? Something like
Oh.
there, Manwha like did have like burgers and stuff. I think. It'd be like there'd be a tasting menu and then also a like less posh menu.
I'm just gonna
They'll
cheese
just do
this
like
one.
posh burgers.
Yeah, somebody.
I
wrote-
am like a big fan of posh food, kind of. Occasionally, like I'll go to a posh restaurant. Not much. I can't really afford it, but like I do think like fancy food can be really good. It's just not going to like stupid places that rip you off. I think a lot of the time you're gonna get more ripped off going to a place that's gonna sell you like like a $40 burger or whatever in somewhere that's going to sell you like a $50 tasting menu or whatever, and you might think, oh, it's a tasting menu, the portions are all small or whatever, but you are eating something like really unique, often really, really great, and yeah.
Nick, I guess you kind of doing that already, but somebody wrote you can also do a normal double of the roll, which I'm guessing you're doing right now. So.
Yeah. I just don't know if is this the intended solution where you do one, another one, it boosts you up, but then you have to do a wall bounce one while like falling. Crazy. Yeah, I mean, I know I could literally just triple, which is, you know, popular topic.
Best pasta noodle type.
I don't know. It's a hard one.
It is hard.
I would say a really good one. Maybe I'm being harsh again. It would be rigatoni. I think
rigatoni is a solid one. Yeah.
Rigatoni is such a nice pasta to cook with, like the way it holds sauce and stuff, and it's got kind of like each thing is like a big boy.
I'm a big fan of bucatini noodles for longer.
What one's that? Oh, the whole one.
Yeah, it has a hole. Yeah, it's kind of like a sour straw or something.
Yeah.
Those are really good because it also gets sauce up in there. And it's like, yeah, I usually do it with my bolognese, but fusilli pasta is really good for like pasta salads. I've found I really like that where it's like chilled. Yeah. But rigatoni.
I think penne is fine for that as well.
Oh yeah, penne. Yep.
No, I do like in most cases, I think thicker pastas are best. So something like rigatoni or bucatini, but they're both quite thick-walled, right?
Yeah,
so rigatoni, for those who don't know, is like a big boy macaroni, basically, but it's usually got like ridges on the sides, but quite thick-walled, and like it's just really good for like strong sauces and stuff. Whilst for some like quite light stuff, linguine and stuff can be really nice. But I think bucatini is a really good shout. I think it's you want the textural stuff of the one thing that like you cook al dente and really like you get that like kind of.
I really like the one that looks like a butterfly, farfalle. Is it?
Farfalle, yeah.
Yeah, farfalle.
Yeah. It looks fun.
Those are quite fun to make, I think. I've never done any like shaped pasta stuff. I've always, whenever I've made pasta, I've always done quite boring shapes, just like spaghetti and raviolis are just so annoying. I'm too lazy to make. Raviolis are just like annoying dumplings. Like I can make like.
That's a good way to
I mean, they're very similar, right? It's just it's a bit more of a.
Yeah.
I find doing like.
Tuplis says I separate spaghetti with every other pasta type because of the slope factor. I mean, spaghetti that was boiled in the milk is goddamn great. I don't know. It was my favorite dish. Yeah, like it was my breakfast.
The milk is boiled?
Spaghetti that was boiled in the milk.
Like it's like a great breakfast. I don't know. You just boil it. You just boil the milk, spaghetti. You put some butter in it, and you have a great soup. I don't know. It's like it's Russian thing. What do you want from me?
Doesn't that like fuck up the milk though? Doesn't the milk get like curdled?
Yeah.
I honestly don't remember how my mom.
I don't think it will. I think you had to do that for quite a while.
Oh, okay. Okay, I thought like.
But still, yeah.
I mean, okay, hold on. To be fair, I've heard of yogurt and pasta, like yogurt pasta and like raisin. It's a very Mediterranean, or like, I've heard that's actually. I've heard that's pretty good. Like yogurt and pasta is actually a pretty good combo. Has anyone in chat tried that? I don't know. I've only heard it's alright.
We also have a question. Oh, go on.
I was gonna preclude Crispy's question because Crispy is very mean, asking all these questions. Getting
best potato dish. Oh my god, I can talk about potatoes.
I was gonna say, what's favorite cheese?
Oh,
this is a
classic.
we got asked this before, and
Yeah.
cheeses are so hard because there are so many cheeses in the world, and there's we got asked this before on Q&A, and I spent ages talking about it. But
The
it's
best
just
potato
can't shut
dish
up.
the best potato dish you've ever eaten. Can I answer, Tom?
Yeah, go
Go
for
for
it.
it.
Yeah. No, I need to
Actually, in Russia we call it French meat. I don't know why, but you basically all you do, you take potato, you slice it, you put meat on it. No, actually, you put meat the first, then potato, then you put everything you want. It can be veggies, whatever. You put the potatoes on the top. Actually, you put potatoes on the top. You put a lot of cheese in there. You do like a small mayonnaise net, and you let it cook in the oven for like an hour, I guess. And it's just goddamn great. Oh my god, it's like mwah.
Damn. Yeah.
It's simple, but it's effective. And I guess to kind of top it off, when I was a student back in the days, I was making a microwave potato, which is actually was kind of fire. Like it's not great, but like if you're a student, if you want potato, without cooking the whole pot, you can just do that. It was great actually.
Yeah, for me, with potatoes, I mean, there's potato dishes, but like nothing will top the flavor of, a potato that you shot yourself. Like it's just you spend a day.
The extra lead that you get.
No. It's the experience, right, of stalking the potato and the out in the
learning
country.
its habits.
Yeah,
you get
like
connected with it.
Yeah, and you try to get a clean kill, right? You
Make
got to
it
shoot it right
humane.
through the
Do this.
heart. But no, the potatoes are like I do think like the really like rich kind of like some of the French like potato dishes like dauphinoise are just so good. A dauphinoise potato is just so good. Or like really fancy mashed potato is just way too much fucking butter and it's good. But
I'd
I
say
also really love like some of the pink fir apple potatoes which I've grown before.
Oh, is that
Fucking
the
good.
pink fir, or is it purple potato? Have you ever tried any?
I've
Like
never had
color?
a purple potato. There's so many varieties of potatoes, but
Yeah.
some of the kind of like quite nutty, funky ones, those are great. But potatoes are like, like just super fun to. I did some like
I-
really absurd roast potatoes over Christmas using like a shitload of goose fat. That was quite fun.
I'd say that the mashed potatoes is a great dish too, but they require a right amount of milk and
What
butter, which
potatoes?
can
Mashed.
Oh,
just
man.
mashed potato, yeah, just like
It,
mashed
it
potato. But they do require that, like, if you put it too much, it's gonna be bad,
Oh,
Either.
well, no, you don't. If you put loads of milk in, yeah, you'll get something kind of weird. With butter, you can put an absurd amount of butter into mashed potatoes. There's what is it? The Jolly Robuchon mashed potatoes he was famous for. I think it was 1 part potato, 2 parts potato, 1 part butter or something. He's like stupid expensive butter, and it would just be like this like ridiculously like luxurious thing. I know the one fancy thing they do there is they cook them in the skin and then peel them to keep like more flavor from the skin. But I don't know. I feel like good mashed potato that's like actually seasoned well. You do need to add quite a bit of salt. Like it's just great, you know. Just
We
substitute. But you do want to have quite a bit of butter.
We
I
actually
don't know if
started making cauliflower mashed potatoes, where it's just cauliflower head instead of potato, so it's not even potatoes at all.
You mash it.
Yeah, and it actually
Okay.
is really good. I'm not kidding. It doesn't taste like it tastes.
Cauliflowers are just such great vegetables.
Yeah.
There's so much you can do with them, and they are really delicious.
I don't know if that's a Russian thing, but sometimes if we have some boiled potato, we roast it, like fry it, and it's actually great too.
Yeah, no, if you want to do fancy roast potatoes, you boil them first. Because you want to get the edges to start to like fall apart a bit. So you do them at quite a rapid boil, and then you're going to cook them most of the way through, but you're also going to like let the edges start to kind of get sort of messy at the sides. Then you want to take them out while they're still really hot, put them on like an open surface so they steam a lot, and they'll actually dry out really quite fast because they'll be super hot, and they've obviously been in boiling water, so a lot of that liquid will just evaporate off super fast. And then so they've got all these like craggy bits on the sides, right, that are going to form. But you put them in like a shitload of like goose fat or whatever. That's if you're doing like Christmas roast potatoes. Yeah.
What was the dish name that? Jesus, I forgot. You slice the potato and you let all the liquid sink of it, and you have this like kind of, it looks like a ham, like kind of a, and you just
like
roast it. Jesus, not napkins, something like that. Jesus, what's the
That's
word?
not a thing. It's like a ham. What do you mean? It's like a ham.
Let me actually find it. Jesus,
Like a sort of crisscross pattern on the top, like you score it. What do you? I don't know what else.
You just slap the slices with your hand, and it looks like Jesus.
Easy.
What's the word? Let me actually find it. I am sleepy. I'm sorry, and I'm stupid. I don't know the English.
You're lying.
Jesus.
Why would you lie on stream about a potato?
Canisius, probably, yeah. Canisius? No. Wait, I'm gonna find it. Jesus. It has a really weird name. Jesus, what's the cooking?
To get up there.
I do like doing a rosti from time to time as well. Those are fun. Where you like grate it and then salt it, then squeeze out. Grate it, salt it, then wash the salt off. You want to let the salt like bring out a bunch of moisture, then you like squeeze the hell out of it. So you get like super dry potato, and then you put them in like, you kind of fry them together. I think you bind it with like egg yolk. What countries are most of the mod devs from?
I remembered.
It's all over.
I remembered.
Yeah. About half from Canada.
Yeah.
We've got way too many Canadians.
What I was talking about is latkes. I think that's the word.
Oh,
yeah.
Potato pancakes. Yeah.
That's
my
talking
favorite.
About.
Yeah, I forgot the name. Sorry.
Those don't look like hams.
Like not hams, but I mean like it's
golden brown. Yeah,
it's
I know what you mean. It's fried. Yeah.
What?
Pan fried, usually in oil. At least the ones I make.
But what? There's not like a ham. There's nothing hammy.
They look like ham.
I meant the form, like it's squishy, and it's.
What are you doing to ham?
You lost me there, but it does get golden brown, so that's like a ham, like a honey baked
golden
ham.
brown.
What countries are most of the Momentum mod devs from?
So Canada mainly. We got U.S., we got Australia, we got European. So you got Tom, who's from the Maldives. You got
on Thames.
No, yeah, we got UK. Yeah, we got Russian.
We have a couple of German devs.
Yes, Germany.
And I kept getting bird confused with BLT the other day.
Oh no.
I was talking to Dora, I think, and I kept confusing them. I felt really bad. They're both like such like polite Germans. They're kind of like I don't know. They've got similar vibes. I'm glad you like that joke.
International team with big V. With big W.
No, yeah, international is nice, obviously. Working with a big bunch of people all over the place. I mean, it's annoying for time zones and stuff. But you know, that's just how it do be.
I think Rio might be on the moon.
Yeah.
Out of this
One of the good thing of having international team is that since I'm localization lit, it's really great to just how different language wielders have their perspective on terminology and stuff.
Yeah,
it's really nice.
I mean, the team's very much English speaking. We don't actually have a whole lot of people though. I think by far the majority of the team, I want to say, only speak English or speak English as their first language, right? I don't know, like, I've got all that many for him. Just because it's a lot of US, Canada, UK. There's probably easily like half the team now. God, I'm so tired.
How many of the Canadians are Quebec or Quebecos? I don't know how to pronounce it.
Quebecois. Quebecois? Is that right?
Quebecois?
One?
I want to say one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Traz is Quebecois.
Do we have any developers from Asia?
Oh.
Space Girl?
Yeah. Yeah. Our
And Russia's kind of Asia, isn't it? I don't know. I don't even know. Does it count as Asia or Europe?
I'm not part of my town, so I'm more of a European, I guess. Quebecois is who knows French, right? Yeah. Okay. I see. I am not great with the geography. Oh well. Oh. Is the aerodynamics of Potato better than Soldier TF2 MDI?
Probably, yeah.
Oh, MDL, sorry, model.
Well, I don't know if you scaled up the potato.
Well, potatoes are usually pretty rotund, you know. Soldier has, you know.
Also depends on cross section. Is Soldier going head first or face front first or?
Actually not sure how you do this one. Is it one over to a drop conc to another drop conc? Is it just 3 concs?
All this question about food that I'm actually thinking of making a cooking stream. I meant on cooking stream.
Yeah.
Okay, it is.
Cooking's stressful. I like to be in my own headspace when I'm cooking. I think I maybe told some of you about this. I had a dream a bit ago that was one of the most insane dreams I've had in a while, and I remember it really distinctly where I was on MasterChef.
Oh, I didn't hear about this.
I was on MasterChef, but it was in a giant pyramid. And my parents kept getting in the way. So I always have to do this thing whenever I'm cooking nearby my parents and they get in the I get absurdly angry when people get in my way when I'm cooking. I'm the most
on a competition show and they're just you should use more.
Yeah. No, and they were just, I don't know what they were doing. They were just kind of just in the way. They weren't commenting on. It was kind of like the Bass Pro Shop game, yeah.
Just standing
but they were just like, and so I had half an hour to like prepare like some fish dish. And there's like a big like fucking counter full of fish. And I tried to do this like fish platter. And what I remember having in it was like, I was trying to do like sashimi, but like ran out of time. So it was just like a whole fillet of salmon, just on its own, just raw on the platter. And then I did these like kind of deep fried prawn things. I don't know. And like,
damn it.
I got like really bad feedback from the judges. Though I don't really remember who the judges were, and they may have been my parents as well. I don't think so. I don't really remember. That part's kind of fuzzy.
Yeah.
But like, and then I was trying to not be a total arsehole about it, and like, so I was like really annoyed. Like I felt they'd like ruined it for me by like getting in the way. I was being like interviewed on camera. And I was trying to not be like a complete dickhead about it, but clearly was. Just blaming them.
That sounds like a very eloquent dream.
I find it so funny that my brain put that together. That like, my brain thought as a fun dream or something, like I would have a dream about a genuine thing that I do, which is just being a prick in the kitchen. And especially my parents around, like, just more of a prick with them than, like, other people. I'm not that bad, by the way, but, like, sometimes, if I've been cooking, I like to, like, cook for, like, a while. I really like doing, like, long cooking sessions, you know, and I'll do fancy stuff and do, you know, and so I'm often, like, really burnt out by the time I'm, like, serving stuff or whatever. So if people are getting in the way, or, like, I'm like so pissy. But so the fact that I turned that into a dream, but then my brain genuinely like combined that with MasterChef, which I do watch, like MasterChef The Professionals. I watch like obsessively every year. I get so into professional MasterChef. It's just my thing. I think it's great. Not the shitty American one, the UK one that like but yeah, I did a big pyramid.
Still not enough time. I was almost it. I almost got this stage down.
So, if you do timestamps, would you be up for? Can you do a specific timestamp for this section of the pod? Just talking about my pyramid dream.
What I don't like about Conc is like trying to figure out the timings on this stuff. If I can't do it in 2, I just give up.
Yeah, this one's 3, but it's just all about not hitting your head on that ceiling there. I don't know why that's not taller, but because once I put that one down and I fall into it, I just go to the end, I think. But yeah, we'll see.
Conc looks like a lot of maths, and I don't like it.
It's really just
I hate
timing.
maths.
Yeah, it's really just your sense of timing. Because it's not too bad. I mean, you can go at specific numbers, but I don't really do that. I kind of do it based off of feel, but...
No, the numbers are good. I mean,
yeah, like that.
Can
I
I
hit my head.
Tuplis says, can I say no because I will be tempted to time stop all of the food ramble? Do it. All food ramble.
You gotta like, you gotta timestamp it like really precisely. It's like a timestamp for like every different potato dish we mentioned.
5 minutes. The timestamp on how I try to look for the potato food name for like 5 minutes. That'll be interesting to watch.
I'm still gotta fix the air acceleration while moving up CR in Conc.
Oh, is that still a thing?
Yeah, nobody ever changed it. You still have an acceleration penalty when you're moving up in Conc.
Oh, that's wild.
I'll turn it off as part of my defrag fix request.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah. What's the VAR?
It's like mom, mv, normal, excel, moving up. I think the default's 0 and it needs to be 1. So that's like a funny source engine thing.
Oh. Alright, well I turned it on. Let's see if it works. Oops.
Is it actually a timestamp? 2 hours, 10 minutes? Jesus Christ. Oh.
Oh, feels a little better. I'm still having trouble getting the movement over there though.
Yeah, I don't know if it's affecting this jump very much. I was just reminded of it.
Fuck. Okay. I think I give up for this one too. There's like another 10 stages after this anyway. So okay. Was there anything else we wanted to play or show off? If not, then I guess we can call it there.
Yeah, I assume we don't want to talk about potatoes for a bit longer then. Yeah. Oh, so tired.
Anyway. Yeah, I guess that's where we can...
my webcam background. It works quite well.
So what the fuck? It's Momentum Man's grandpa. That's pretty good.
I was trying to get Socrates talking to the Michelin Man, and it like combined the one guy.
That's pretty good. Okay, Traz could make that the thumbnail, honestly.
I know that just that guy is gonna make a good thumbnail.
Anyway, do we have anyone that we'd want to raid? Maybe. Probably not. Nobody streaming the game. Yeah, just us. Let's see. What do we got? Anybody on my end? Not really.
TF2 Jump apparently streams, but I don't know.
It's just yeah, we could just raid that, honestly.
Oh, is it Temples? Okay. Didn't know.
Is this like the automatic spectator bot thing?
I think so, yeah. Sure, why not? We'll do it. Okay, anyway, thank you all so much for watching, asking excellent questions about food and whatnot. That's what these streams are about, you know.
Food.
So yeah, the food, not so much the game. So please keep the food questions coming. Anyway,
Crispy, I'm banning you from the next stream.
It's required. It's required for this. Yeah, the best food question we can give a key to. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, yeah. Go and enjoy some rocket jumping. It's just a spec bot, so you know, rocket jump stuff. But yeah. Catch you all in the next Q&A stream, as well as maybe surprise appearances on Tom's streams when they stream later. So
tell all the rocket jumpers that are already in that stream, tell them all to play Conc.
Yes. Yeah. It's a more important game mode. But anyway, thank you all for watching. We'll catch you all in the next one. Thank you so much. Join our Discord if you haven't, !Discord. And yeah, see you all later.